Okay, well, hi everybody. I want to thank you all for coming. I hope that you can hear me okay. I am Stacey Lynn Harp, the president of Active Christian Media and Bible News Radio. And tonight, Vicki and I we have heavy hearts. And but we want to do the right thing. Okay. And so let me read you a verse from the Bible. Proverbs 22 verse 1 says, "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." And to me, that's what this is about more than anything. It's about character, it's about reputation, it's about who you can trust in business. And it's about offering real love and redemption and forgiveness to somebody if they want it. You know, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13 what love is, and this is what it says. It says, love is patient, love is kind, and is not jealous. It doesn't brag, it's not arrogant, it doesn't act unbecomingly, it doesn't seek its own, it's not provoked, it doesn't take into account when wrong is suffered, it doesn't rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But that's it. Love never fails. And you know, that's where Vicki and I are coming from. We're coming from a genuine place of love for Robert Stern. We really are. Vicki and I have talked over the last couple of weeks. We've prayed together. We've prayed for Robert. We've kept things private. We haven't brought it out into the open. But last night, when Vicki did her scope, an epic 2-hour scope, you know, Vicki's heart broke, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I had to say something, you know, because it's not right. It's not right. I invited Robert here tonight. He told me that he wished he could be here, but he's with his daughter. And so I told him to watch, you know, because we want him to watch. We want him to know that we really care about him, and we're not here to drag his name through the mud. We want him to come clean, and we want him to, you know, to tell the truth. Because as Christians, we want to offer him, you know, forgiveness and redemption. And last night on my scope, I called him out because I was one of the people that didn't get my money back from the tour that Vicki, Robert, and Joel Comm were doing. And it was $170, which is a lot of money to my husband and I. I mean, we live on a very limited income doing ministry. And, you know, we're working really hard to try to be entrepreneurs and, you know, do things. But what hurt me about that was that money was donated to me. People from my audience gave me that money, and it wasn't given, you know, at that point, it wasn't given back to me. This morning, Robert gave it back to me. So I want you to know, he gave it back to me this morning after I sent him a message telling him that I'm sure he knows that I went public last night with his name, and that I was gonna go public again today so that other people would know what's going on. And within literally a minute or two of me sharing that with him on Facebook, he refunded my money. And then he asked me if I was going to tell everybody and still go public. And I said, yes, I'm going to go public still, because I have to help people. I have to warn people who don't know, because we don't know, because he's lied to us. So I want you to know that I think that Robert's trying to do the right thing in some cases. I can't believe that he's so horrible, you know, that he would give me money and try to hush me up by not saying anything. He hasn't shut down his Facebook group. He hasn't blocked me or Vicky. He hasn't blocked anybody on Twitter that I know of as far as communication. So I have to believe, because he's keeping some communication open, that there's some part of him that wants help. I have to, because that's what I think. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff we all don't know, and that's why Vicky and I are doing this blab, because I want Vicky to share with us, her heart and what's been going on. And then those of you who have been affected or have questions, we're happy to answer those questions the best as we can. But here's one thing I do want to say, and that is that I will not tolerate anybody attacking Robert, calling him names, or doing anything that you wouldn't want happen to you. I won't. I'll throw you out. Okay? If there's somebody else in this community that has done, defrauded somebody, you know what? This isn't the platform for it. This is about Robert and what's going on with Robert. And then maybe as a community, we can all step up and say, you know what? Okay, we do know of some other vultures in the community, right? So then we can talk about it that way. But tonight, Vicky and I, our whole purpose here is to deal with what happened with Robert in the tour and some of the other things that I'm actually just finding out. So I want to thank you all for coming, and just let you know that I'm not used to being in this position, so bear with me if I cry once in a while, because that's just what I do. And we just want to be honest, and we really want Robert to know that we love him, and we really want him to do the right thing. My husband called him earlier today and left a message for him thanking him for the refund. And all that. So, and I'm sure, I'm reading your comments, and I know that's why we're doing it. Ultimately, this is why we're doing it, because I know, we're trying to think and hope the best, but we can only do what we can do. So, I know a number of you have contacted him and asked him to do the right thing, and he's got to make that choice. But Vicky and me, we're going to do the right thing for the community. That's what we're doing right now. So, Vicky, thank you for joining me. And I would like you to now whatever you want to share.
Well, some people don't know what's going on. So if you don't know what's going on, it probably hasn't affected you, but I'll give you guys a quick recap. And those of you who know me already know that this is all breaking my heart, but I don't want to throw Robert under the bus. I always believe the best in people. I believe that I choose to believe, I don't know that this is true, that something's triggering him to make choices that aren't really good for him and for the community. And I'm not reading the comments right now, so if you guys want me to read it, tag my name and I'll look at the mentions in a minute. But the reason I'm here is because some of you already knew, and this is no guilt trip here, guys. Some of you guys already knew about Robert's choices with collecting money and maybe not delivering services and didn't mention it to me, maybe because you didn't want to hurt my feelings, or you didn't feel confident, or you didn't feel comfortable, or you didn't want to make waves. And I'm not judging any of you. I'm not judging any of you for the choices that you made at all. I just know, for me as a Christian, I feel like God's putting it on my heart, because if I had known, I wouldn't, of course, have agreed to go on the tour and promote the tour and let people pay him money. And I wouldn't have agreed to some of the other things if I had known any better. And so if I don't give the information I know to you guys, so you know better, then I'm perpetuating a problem too, right? Because the people, my clients, have paid money and for a conference that isn't going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that he fraudulently built a conference. I know other people are suggesting that's true. I am not suggesting that, because I don't know. All I'm telling you is that the tour that I was to go on with Robert, that I promoted at all my scopes and with my social media following, where people paid, that the day before I was supposed to be in Arizona, Robert canceled it. Okay, I don't he had some things come up with his family. I understood that and I accepted that. Our agreement was the very next day is going to start the refund process. It has now been almost a month and nobody got their money back. I'm telling you these details because I want you to know that I've gone through lengthy efforts to make this happen before coming to you guys publicly. And this grieves my heart. This is not something I'm happy about. I care about Robert a lot as a person. I care about him as, as a father. I care about him. And anyway, that was the agreement. The agreement was that he had to pay all the money back immediately to the people, and that is, I even said to him, Robert, if you spent the money, if you don't have the money, then tell me right now and I will stand beside you and help you figure out a plan to make sure you get the money back to these people. But he assured me that it was all there and it was going to get started. He was going to start paying it all back. The following week was Summit. And he promised me, he said, yeah, I already started the refunds. I've done half of them. Then he told me, I asked him if he finished them. He said, the next time he said, no, I came into some problems with email addresses being different. People changed them. And so they couldn't get through, but I'm going to finish them all this week. So then the next time I talked to him, then he said, well, no, I'm going to start them this week. And I said, wait, you told me you already sent half of them back. And he hadn't. So he's lying to me, which is showing me a pattern of what's going on. And I share this with you because I need you to know I tried. I've been trying. I talked to him every day. I would send messages. He was ignoring me. He wouldn't respond. It wasn't until I threatened him and said, Robert, if you don't get this, if you don't refund these people by Friday at 5 o'clock, I'm going to start telling them individually that they need to file with PayPal. Then when I did that, because he didn't respond, when I did that, people started filing with PayPal. And then they thought they were getting refunds, but what they were getting is possible refunds. And then those things bounced 3 days later. Yet he sent me a message. Again, everybody has been refunded. I reached out to check with some people if they had received their refunds. And of course I found out they had not, and they had not, and they had not. It's only the people he knew that I knew about that had been, and that had actually sent chargebacks through that had gotten any even and information. The speakers that were on the tour didn't even know the tour had been canceled. The only person who mentioned it was me. So it's showing a pattern of inconsistency that is harmful to the community. It's certainly harmful to my clients and family members that purchased tickets because they wanted to see me. So I'm sharing this with you guys because now that this has, first of all, that this has come up, more information has come. Courses he started that he didn't give people things he started that he never delivered. That Can
I stop you just for a second?
If you must.
I will. Let me just stop just for a second because I want to tell everybody initially my refund bounced. Okay, so what Vicki just said, that happened to me. Okay, you guys. I'm just saying. And why is this on the record? Joel wants to know why it's on the record because it needs to be on the record. It needs to be on the record, okay? So that's why. So anyway, I'm sorry, but I wanted to testify that I'm one of the people she just talked to. She just described what he's been doing, and that happened to me. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So anyway, so I repeatedly tried to get him to do it. He didn't react until I guess you call it a threat. I mean, I wasn't trying to threaten. I was just telling him I'm going to inform people. And then he sent me one that said they'd come back. Anyway, they're not coming back. The refunds have not come back. And until Stacy said that she was going out public with this blab, he didn't pay her back. He paid her back and then tried. And then, my point, you guys, is that we can't do this as a community, right? Is that a community of live streamers, we're business people. And if we're not going to stand up and tell people when other people are doing things that is fleecing other people, then we're no better than them. And I don't want to be here. And I'm sure I'm going to get some flack from some of you, and that's okay. I accept that because I would rather accept that than have other people continue to take advantage, because it's not right. It's not right to take $20 here and $30 there and $50 here and $100 there. It's not right. And most people won't step up, and most people won't do anything about it. They just let it go. But it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of people, and it will continue. Somebody messaged me yesterday that hasn't gotten their refund back and said their opinion, I cannot verify this, their opinion is that he's in newbie groups. And I know you're in this room, Robert, because there's no way you're going to sit here and not know what's being said here. So I want you to know I love you. I really do. I want the best for you. I want the best for your family, and people will forgive you if you just fix this. You don't have to continue. If you spent the money, you lived on the money, tell people. Say, I screwed up. I messed up. I'm willing to step up, and I want to fix it. But don't keep hiding. Don't keep lying. It's not right. It's not right. And you put me in the middle of it, and I'm angry with you for that because it's not right. And I backed you, and I tried to help you. And now it's time to man up and say, you know what, guys, I messed up and I'm going to fix it. I don't know how I'm going to fix it, but I'm going to fix it because this is wrong, Robert. It's wrong. And these people deserve better than that. You know, we could put on a live streaming conference online or something where you can make this up. You can fix it. Just step up. Step up. And so for you guys in the live streaming community who did duck your heads, again, I don't judge you for it. It's easier. Trust me, before I got on tonight, I was like, I want to duck. I don't want to do this. But it's still the right thing to do, to notify other people when you know someone is taking advantage. It's like a burglar walking around the neighborhood. Are you going to continue to not tell him that he just robbed your next door neighbor? Of course not. You're going to say, hey, I would stay away from that guy because that guy's robbing people. So making a choice to step up. And so that's what we're doing. And people are coming out of the woodwork, sharing how Robert has asked them to borrow. Somebody told me today they asked him to borrow $10,000. That's a lot of money, right? Somebody, is telling me he borrowed $20 here, $20 here, $20 here and there. Money here and there adds up. And that's how con artists work. And am I saying Robert's a con artist? I don't want to think he is. I'm just I feel duped and I feel used. Truth bomb. That's the truth. Okay. I feel duped and I feel used. But beside that, I do appreciate you guys as a community. And I would want somebody to tell me. I would want to know. And then I can make my own informed decision, right? I'm not asking any of you to take what I'm saying and throw Robert under the bus and never want to work with him again. I'm not, because that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying you deserve to have the information so you get to make your own informed decision. I wish I had that choice, right? And I didn't. So I'm not going to be the one that perpetuates it and doesn't mention it because it's not right. It's not right. And so, I'm willing to answer any questions you guys have. If you guys, have any questions. So
the one question, some of you came in late. We did invite Robert. We did. And I'll read you exactly what he sent me a message. He said, quote, I would have loved to, but I have my daughter with me. So, and then I sent him a message back and I said, okay, well, we hope you can watch. So Robert's been notified. He knows about this. And I wouldn't have done it without telling him, because that's not right.
Joel Com is asking to come in. I think we should let him in.
Okay.
You don't have any audio, honey. We can't hear you. Okay. Want to refresh? Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. I'm sure there's some.
You want me to let Cliff in, or should we just do one at a time?
I would let Joel just one at a time, and then Cliff can come in after.
Okay. Sorry, Cliff.
Now?
Yeah, we
No?
can. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, ladies. I know this is really emotional, and I know this is difficult to do. Stacy, I appreciate you being the voice to kind of, you were directly affected. So I feel like you coming out and doing what you did was very appropriate. This is something that Vicky and I have been discussing, for weeks now. And I feel real bad. I know Robert's in trouble. I don't know what kind of trouble he's in. And, he's one of our tribe. We didn't know him until he came on here and became very public. And then I guess this stuff's been going on for a while. And like, Robert, if you're watching, dude, the best thing you can do right now, the only thing, really, there's only one option that's a good option. And that's to like hop on, send an email to everybody and say, look, I screwed up. Here's what I did. And I'm sorry, I'm going to make it right. And please forgive me. And then follow through and do whatever you need to do to make it right and restore your name and your reputation. Because otherwise, otherwise you're done here. There's like, I don't know what you're going to, what's up for you next. And we do care. So like, it's all right. Everybody's done stuff that they're not proud of. Like, present company included. And the best way out is say you're sorry. So I'm hoping that you take that road. I'm hoping you see what's happened here and what your actions have resulted in and how you've hurt people to the point where there's actually a blab going on about it. So that's it. That's all I got to say. Vicky, I love you, hon. I'm sorry.
I love you too, honey. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate you. And thanks for being my friend.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I'll come back. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
I'm looking at some of the comments. I know I missed some, you guys. So if you guys want to repost them, feel free. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Clip.
they'll recap in a minute, Walter. Yeah, I feel awful for you guys. The community has been kind of duped, and I was going to say everything Joel said. Of course, he's great at that. I think the toughest thing here that I'm feeling for you guys and the community is as always, when you make a mistake or you need to live off the money that came in, and look, it happens. Life happens, and it's all right. I mean, this community would have, if he had said, 2 weeks ago, again, not to throw him under the bus, or 3 weeks ago, so look, I screwed up, like you guys are saying, and say, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm really in a bad way. The community would have rallied around him. And it's hard because there's pride involved here. We haven't talked about that yet. And it's hard for a man or a woman or anybody who has pride to say, I'm desperate, or I'm hurting, or I financially am in trouble. And they don't want to put that out there in the community because now all of a sudden he loses his credibility as somebody that's worthy in other people's eyes. And so with that, I think that gets in the way of the truth. You watch this in government all the time. People screw up all the time, but and in business and whatnot. And if people can't come back, and everybody makes mistakes, we know that, and they get into trouble, whatever it is. If you come back, especially if you've got a community of this kind of power around you, if you come back and say, yeah, I screwed up, I shouldn't have, I didn't know what I was thinking, or whatever the reasons might be, it's not really that important. It's more important that you say, I screwed up. I'm going to do what I have to do. Can you guys help me out in the meantime? I'm really in a tough spot. And his credibility would have gone skyrocket instead of now in the dumper. And I feel bad. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the community. You guys, obviously, you've been trying, and Vicky, you've been trying. And it's the lying that hurts, and that deceit. And that's what I really feel bad about for you, Vicky, and others who know this and have been dealing with this. It's hard. It's hard for you guys to be in the middle. And it's harder for you guys to come out and say, look, we got to call it and let other people know, because it's always that fine line between when do we do this? Do we do it on the record? Do we not do it on the record? All of these questions about it. And I think it's fair at this point. It's enough has gone on, but he still has an opportunity here, and he may be washed up. I don't know. It's really going to be what happens, what he does from now on. That'll be key. That's all I want to say, guys. I love you guys, and community. Just this community is a great community. Keep it together. Support each other, no matter what. Take care.
Thanks, Cliff.
Hey, ladies. I just want to say that what you guys are doing is extremely noble. I respect you highly as a Catholic and Christian. It's hard to sometimes pray for someone who has wronged you or what have you. In my personal case, I have to tell you that I have been one of the people affected by him since June, and it's not related to a conference. It was more of a personal loan. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've forgiven but not forgotten. So I don't expect to see any of the money that I lent him for personal reasons. It seems like it's always personal reasons. But, this is something that has been going on for a long time, guys. I don't know. Vicky, I met you at Summit. I don't know. I didn't know you before that. So, but, one of the things I did at some point is when I saw certain people get involved with him and they were friends of mine, I reached out to them personally and said, hey, this is some information about my personal situation. And I just want you to know this so that, you can manage him if he starts doing something like this, or, it's not even a warning. It's more like, I felt like it was my duty as a human being, as a Christian, as anything, to tell them, this is what happened to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but FYI. So, and Robert, he's probably watching. Robert and I were good friends at the beginning of Periscope. Obviously, he's, we're not really involved, as friends anymore. But I really hope that you can turn this boat around, Robert, because your reputation is just, he's doing interviews with all these huge influencers, and to people that know what's going on, it's making those people look so bad because kind of what's going on behind the scenes. And Robert, I think you really need to take a step back and yes, return the money, but some people need more than just money returned. Some people need more than an apology. And I think you can see people here that have been affected by your attitude. And I think that you as a father need to really make this right, because this is, there's so many feelings. I wasn't even going to come in, ladies. I wasn't even going to come in. I wasn't going to touch this. I'm very diplomatic. I didn't want to get involved in the drama, but I feel that I need to be able to say that because, it's been going on for too long. Mine is not even related to a conference. Mine was a personal loan that he one day called me, and, being naive and being, I guess I just felt bad for him. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm sending you the money right now. And I literally got on my phone and sent him the money he needed. And, he paid me a portion of it. I still have to see the rest of it. But like I said, I've forgiven. I don't expect the money. I don't need the money. I don't want the money. But I will not forget because what he did is wrong. And I keep seeing it. Guys, I keep seeing it. And people send me messages and they're like, look what's going on. And it's just, it's something needs to be done. So I applaud you ladies for what you're doing because, I'm not the only, I don't want to call myself a victim, but I'm not the only person that's been mistreated by him in this manner, so anyway, just want to say that, and show support because I believe that what you guys are doing is right, keeping the community safe. And that's it. That's, all I can do is speak to my truth. And this is the reality of what my situation was.
Before you leave, Kathy, I want to say thank you because I have to tell you that there's a lot of people that were saying, again, they don't know. And it's been killing me. I've been trying, right? And so the fact that, because other people saying, oh, it's just a conference, people are saying, well, why don't you just hold a conference and fill in? And I said, well, I could, but that's not keeping him accountable. And then I don't think it's just this. I don't think it's, and then people are telling me he sold me this, and I never got, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like, and So anyway, so thank you, Kathy. Please, thank you so much for stepping in. I know what it feels like. I would rather not be here too. So
I would rather not, I'd rather not be like, oh my gosh, she was there talking about it. But the reality is, I can only speak to my truth. And what I did in my situation is I reached out to the people that I had personal relationships with, that I saw were, getting involved. And I said, look, I'm not doing this to drive anyone's name through the mud. I'm just doing this because you, as my friend, I have to tell you, I have an obligation. And Vicky, I didn't know you. We didn't know each other, so
I know.
I couldn't come to you because I don't know you, so I didn't know you. So, but that's all I have to say. It's I feel that that what you guys doing is right. Some people are going to disagree and whatever, but I don't know.
But we're a community.
Help. I don't understand.
Right.
What kind of help? I mean, but right now, like all I can do is pray and just
that's what we've been doing.
And Vicki and I have been praying, literally. We've been praying together about it.
And Brittany's in here, reach out to him directly. Brittany, I have reached out to him directly many times. Phone, email. I have his home address, so I've written to him. It's like,
text, Facebook Messenger, tweet, direct message,
PayPal. Right? He disappears. It's like all of a sudden you don't exist. So yes, it is a private matter, and I took it very private. I was very private about it. But at this point, I felt like I needed to come in here and say something. Oh yeah, Brittany, you have no idea how many times I reached out to him, and it's not because I need the money. I don't need it. It's more like it's the principle behind it. To me, it got to a point where it's about principle. So, and the reality is, this is a world about this is about reputation as well. It's about a lot of things. So anyway, just hope if he's watching, Robert, you don't need to pay me back. Whatever. I've forgiven and forgotten. I've forgiven, not forgotten. And, but I hope that you can turn this boat around, because you need to be an example to your daughter. So that's all. All right, ladies, I'm out.
For sharing me. Appreciate you. And just really quick, some of the stuff that's going on here, if you guys, I know there's a couple of people coming in, but I don't know if you guys have actually had experience here, or you just are trying to say stuff. So, Jilly Sue, if you want to come in, I know you have some personal stuff going on, and if you want to come in and talk, you can. There's a lot of people are like Brittany. I can see that you're really an advocate for Robert, or that's what it seems like. I want you to know, honey, I have been Robert's biggest advocate. I mean, I won't say I've covered for him, because I didn't. I just supported him. I supported each time he told me something was wrong. And many of you guys are asking me, Robert has shared, and I gotta share this with you, because I feel like I do need to, and maybe it's self-serving a little bit to protect my own reputation, but Robert was sharing with people that I booted him from our show. And I just want you guys to know, I didn't boot him. I gave him an ultimatum. I said, you have to pay those people back. If you don't pay those people back, I'm not going on air with you anymore. I'm just not. It's not happening. And so the first time, because people are saying, why did I lie for him? And I didn't. He sent me an email that morning saying, get a co-host. I already had one lined up. Get a co-host. I still have no power. So then he made me look like a liar, because he was on Mevi. He was at Mevi headquarters during our show. So then he tells people, I can't believe that you booted me. I didn't boot him, but I will not. And this is important. I will not serve with someone, partner with someone that is stealing from other people. I won't. It's not going to happen. It won't happen. And I just want that on the record, because my reputation is important to me, but you guys as a community are more important, because I know this is going to make some people really angry, and some people are going to throw me under the bus. I get it. But I promise you, and that's why I'm so glad Kathy came in, because she has nothing to do with this tour. She has no skin in this game except her own money that was dealt with a long time ago. This is a pattern, everybody. It's a pattern. So again, if you choose to give him money, it's your choice. There's other people in this chat box that I know personally have had issues, and they can choose to come in or not come in. But we're not trying to throw them under the bus. We're trying to establish a pattern so you don't get caught, because it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
And let me just tell you, I've seen the email Vicky's talking about, because she told me about it. And then she showed me the email. I've seen the email communication between her and Robert. So she's telling the truth. That's why I don't have a problem standing up here and standing by her, because she did the right thing. So should we let Barry in or Carlos?
I mean, we can. We can try and see.
Okay, let's let them in one at a time. Barry, we're gonna let you in.
Love you, girls. I'm sorry what you have to go through.
Thanks, Barry.
I'll give you something. I wasn't invested with him, but I've lost a lot of money trusting certain people as coaches and mentors. And I will admit that was probably the best money I ever spent in a way that taught me the truth of who should I follow and who should I really want to be like. And I know it's mean, and some people like me, I didn't have a lot of money when I invested. And it taught me a lot of things I would not have learned without going through something hard. And I customly got a piece of wood out and made me a heart to believe in something to where nobody will stop me. And Vicki, I want to back up and just say thank you for being a step out person that's wanting to be a leader, that's not wanting to be a forceful name like, look at me, look what I can do. You're just loving us and trying to help us be somebody. And that's what I believe in a heart. That's the reason I made this. So sometimes I'll cry and just hold it and say, I'll make it tomorrow. I don't know how, but I'll make it tomorrow. You know? So if y'all have some times, just step back and don't hate anybody. Just realize we don't know what the problem really is, but just be happy you're not in it anymore. You can stop something before it can go on so far that it destroyed your life. You know, let's stop it. You know, you're learning early, and this is great. You know who the right people is and who the wrong people are. So this will be a great lesson. It might cost you money, but it's going to be one of the best lessons it ever taught me. And I hope it'll do the same for y'all.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that, Barry. Stacy, are you here ghosting, honey? Because I don't see you. Does anybody see Stacy?
No.
Stacy, you need to come back in if you're here, sweetie, because we can't see you. Okay. All right. I don't know. Is she here? Is she in the room still? Stace, are you here? Maybe I don't know. You see her? Okay. Will somebody put a message in there that we can't see her? She needs to refresh because I don't know if she can hear me. Oh, you're trying to get back in. Okay. Okay, sweetie. You guys that are in the seat, I'm going to knock you guys out really quick just so in case it's only a 2-seat thing and we can't get her. Barry, thank you for stepping up and sharing, honey. Thank you.
We don't know each other big, but, we're in the right place. We just need to be careful who we get partners with. That's all I want to tell people.
Thank you, Barry. I
pray
appreciate
to God. I'm a big Christian just like y'all. I make mistakes. I sometimes do things and I forget to ask God, what should I do? Maybe I'll watch your back. Thank you, women.
Bye, honey.
Love you. Everybody, you'll make another day. Trust me. It's just a little scar.
I know, honey. I know. We just want to fix what we can. Who else wanted to come in? I know, Carlos, you were in line. There you go.
Sorry, I have redneck Wi-Fi, so it just froze on me. Middle Tennessee, that's...
We can't hear you, honey. Carlos, we can't hear you. You refresh? Okay, refresh. Somebody else want to come in while he's refreshing? And I'm trying to read the comments, you guys. I haven't seen most of them. And I don't know who this is. Oh, yes, I do. I know him. Oh, thanks, Dan. I'm reading some of your guys' comments. Thank you guys so much. And I'm trying to be all good, Ricky. I'm reading the ones that you guys tagged my name in. Yeah, Mike, I heard, Mike, that you have experienced some stuff. Hi, Daniel. How are you, honey?
Never mind.
Can you hear us? Oops, maybe not. Okay, let's let Robin in.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, this is tough, right? It's really tough. So, Vicki, I adore you and I love you. And I think you're a wonderful person. And I understand what you're trying to do. I really do get it. And that being said, is that, yes, I'm waiting for my refund as well. But I like Robert also. And I'm not saying anybody here doesn't.
I do, honey.
Yeah, I know you do. I know. And I think that, like everyone said, there's something going on, but I really do think Robert, I just can't believe that he's doing things purposely to hurt other people. And I'm hoping that Robert will let us, someone, know when the time is right for him, and just to kind of clear things up and stuff. But I just had to step in, and this is not anti-Vicky at all, because I adore Vicky too. I adore both of them. And I know it's not a Robert versus Vicky either, but I just wanted to jump on and say to Robert, if he watches the replay, or if he's listening now, I adore you. And if you need me, I'm here. Call me, text me, message me. If you just need someone to talk to, I get it. I've gone through a lot of crap myself, and I'm here to listen if you need me to. So that's what I wanted to say. And Vicky, I truly understand what you're trying to do as well. Okay.
And thank you for sharing that, Robin, and reiterating, because we're here. I mean, in a way, it's a little bit like an intervention, right? I would love Robert to come in, and I would love to stand beside him and say, okay, this is what he's going to do, and then let other people hold him accountable, because I obviously can't hold him accountable, right? And I try. I know, I get that.
But I know it's not. And I know why you're trying, and I understand that there's this connection and stuff. But ultimately, we are all only responsible for ourselves. And you need to try to take that in. And I'm going to say this as a non-religious person, but Vicky, you keep praying on it, because I know that that's what's going to help you. Okay? So you understand that me saying that,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Me telling someone to pray. I mean, so,
the atheist telling the Christian to pray. That is big, Robin. You are a big woman, and I adore you.
It's because I know that that's what helps you. So, again, I'm going to jump off. Let somebody jump on. But please remember, everybody, we're talking about human beings, people, and all their feelings and all their stuff. And we just don't know what's happening. And Robert, we love you. Bye.
Bye, Robin. Carlos, I guess it's not working, honey. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Hey, I'm on here because, number one, Vicky, you know how much I support you. I know you personally. To me, you've always been an inspiration. Bible News Radio, I follow you also, and some of your shows have been phenomenal. Part of why I'm here is because, definitely supporting Vicky on this piece. I know how hard she worked to get some of this stuff done. I've also seen the other side of this coin where I think when you're trying to prepare a big project, such as a conference, you're really not allowed a whole lot of time to be on blabs and doing different things. And I've seen also the fact that some of the continuous blabs and some of the continuous conversations where you kind of get to know people and you kind of make that judgment call of character. You know what I mean? And it's one of the reasons why I never really followed Robert for that fact. Kind of knowing that, and again, I'm not going to bash the guy. We talked about this, that he needs to step up and all of that. I'm going to come from the angle also as a parent. We teach our kids honesty, we teach our kids transparency, be responsible. And if you're using your daughter, for me, is as an excuse not to actually face the music, so to speak, then what values are we really passing down to our kids in that sense? It's very important. I think that, we want what's best for him, but at the same time, we also need to realize that not everybody wants to be helped. And some people you just can't help. All you can really do is just pray for them and leave it in God's hands. So no matter how hard it is, no matter how hurtful it can be, all we can do is just really send positive thoughts. Life's too short to be dealing or hiding under a rock. And sooner or later, you're going to have to face the music. And it's unfortunate it takes circumstances like this to be able to do that. So I just wanted to tell you, you guys are awesome. I'm supporting you guys. Everyone else that has gone through this as well too. there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, it's a hard learned lesson, but you guys are strong. You guys will move on. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'll keep following and hearing. So take care, you guys.
Thank you, Carlos.
Am I back?
No, your audio's your
Am I
audio
back?
only. No,
Am I back? Can you see me?
no, refresh. No,
Okay.
refresh.
I can't hear anybody, but I see Cliff coming in.
Refresh.
She looks
Let's see
okay.
if I'm on mute. Okay.
So maybe
So you guys see me?
everybody else sees her fine. So Vicky, you may want to refresh.
Okay,
I don't
Vicky's
think so. She's
frozen.
audio only,
Gotcha.
and I'm frozen.
Okay. I'm glad it's not me this time.
Okay.
Hi, Cliff.
Hi, Stacy. So one of the things, the other thing that came to me here, and you better, Vicky?
I think so. I can see you guys.
No.
He's got that California redneck Wi-Fi.
In defense of this being on the record and coming out now the way it is, we have reputations, each individual, and Vicky staked, into Robert's reputation, being with him and supporting him and being quiet about this, probably to a fault, but she's making up for it now. And that's why it's hard. It's hard for her to be here. Obviously, she said that earlier, if you weren't here, this isn't easy for anybody to be here right now. We want the community to be solid and whole and not to be duped by anybody. And the one thing I wanted to say, the reason I came back in, was that I want to urge people in the future, if somebody makes a mistake and they don't own up to it, and then they start lying to you about it, and then it's $5 or $10,000, whatever it is, and you've got a community of people here now that should be important to each of us, and say, look, we need to protect each other. That's what this is: keeping community safe from any kind of person that looks to be a predator. I'm not saying Robert is, but there's different types of predators, and I know now. I didn't know this because I've never been involved with Robert in any way where I relied on him to take my money or for anything. And I know there was something going on many months ago. I saw a sidebar going on. I didn't ask. It wasn't my position. It didn't come to me. And so I know, and other people now are coming out, this is, turning into like a Bill Cosby kind of thing. And it hurts everybody here. So aside from Robert, Robert aside, just take care of each other. That's what we're here to do. And I think if something like this happens again, we need to protect each other. And it isn't to say give somebody a chance, but once they start lying over, and then there's an excuse, and then another excuse, and then you realize there were lies, you need to call that. Okay. Yeah, Ricky, we don't need. No, he's not in the class of Bill Cosby. He's not. But I mean, it's blowing up like that kind of. All of a sudden, people now are coming forth. People who were being quiet about it. And again, this is about, for me, it's not about Robert right now. This is about the community and about doing the right thing for each person in the community. And some people are going to be run out of town. It's just going to happen. They're going to leave on their own accord. People are going to get out the torches. Whatever happens, happens. But in this community, it's so tight and so connected. You can't get away with this for too long. This kind of a thing. Anybody. I'm not talking again about Robert. If you think you're going to dupe this community for any length of time, I urge the community to rally together and stay together. And there we are. we got trolls in here. All right, ladies.
I know. That's why I'm worried about letting the trolls in, Stacy, because I don't want this to turn into a circus. I'm going to let Julie do it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Cliff.
Yeah. I would keep this short from now on. I mean, I think we've gotten it out there. Let the people come in and say, but this shouldn't go on for too much longer, for your sakes, guys.
Well,
okay?
We'll let God decide that part, because there's some people that feel that they need to share, But thank you, Cliff.
Can you guys hear me?
Sue. Yeah.
Hear me? This is, I don't even know. I avoid this type of stuff like the plague. And
me too, honey.
Robert and I were on Periscope from the very beginning, and I absolutely fell in love with him. Like, we had late nights. We talked. He was with me when I had to put my dog down. Like, me, Candy, like, we had amazing nights, and I was really, really struggling. And so he helped me come up with, ways to do webinars and get my mind off things and, connect with the direct sales community, which I have a passion for. Mine wasn't even about money. And so I had a hard time way back in May. Mine was over a simple email list. And my reputation, like you, Vicky, that you're struggling with, I commend you on this, is that when you're getting going and trying to pull yourself out of a bad place and you let your walls down when you don't necessarily trust everybody and you connect with someone on that level and you're talking to them every night on Periscope and everyone was like, it's so real. Everyone's so real. Everyone's so authentic. My heart was shattered and people know this. And then over getting a simple email list to try to fulfill promises of coaching calls that I couldn't get for weeks and months and months. And people started coming to me where I had to fulfill both his obligation and mine. It was earth shattering for everything that I was going through, earth shattering because I thought he was my friend. And then I saw these webinars pop up and I said, oh my gosh. And I kept quiet for a long time and Doug knows and Allie knows. And I had to try to confide in some people to kind of let the word out because I was like, if it's an email list for me, where are these $99 fees going to go? And then I just and I feel bad that I didn't kind of, but at the same time, you don't want to be a community troublemaker. You don't want to be a community gossiper. Mine was just a mailing list. And now we're here 8 months later and it's turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's devastating, Vicky. So I know how I felt. I mean, he was with me the night before I had to put Stromboli down. He was with me with a bunch of people on Blab. And so it was, to get an email list, like it bothered me, like to have to go to some of the people that have been on Periscope and Blab and have to say, look, this is what's happening. I had a really hard time. I think I talked to a couple people that have been on here tonight and I went to my own mentor and I said, what do I do? Like, I don't want to be the community gossiper, but I'm hearing some really bad things. And now here we are. And a lot of people have gotten taken advantage of. And it really breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because Robert, I love you. And it breaks my heart for all of you. So I feel bad for everyone, really.
Thank you. And just Barb, you're asking a question while Julie Susan here. I don't know about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I know for sure it's in the 5 figures. I don't know if it's gone to 6 figures because I don't know, but what Robert has shared with me was 175 people that paid the fee, which would put it at like 17.5 plus there's some other things. As this has come in, there's people I know someone, and again, these are going to remain nameless unless they choose to, share it. He asked somebody for $10,000. He's borrowed, small amounts from lots of people. He's built courses that people have paid for. He hasn't delivered on. He has, there's the list goes on. It's not one thing. So I see you guys saying, oh, it's a conference that went bad. It's not. It was a 22 city tour that I rearranged my entire life for, just so you guys know, hired a tutor for my son, bought new equipment so I could go on the road, got rid of some of my clients, gave up other speaking engagements. This is not a little event. This has cost me a tremendous amount of money, but this is not about me. This is about the people that, like Julie Sue, I am heartbroken. My heart hurts. This is physically painful for me. I care about him very much. I care about this community, and my job as a leader in the community is to stand up. And some of you, I get it. You don't get it, and you think this is not gossip. This is, if nobody else stands up, then it's just hearsay. When other people stand up, it becomes a credible pattern that people need to stay away from, because we're not serving Robert either. We're not serving other people that take advantage of people if we fix it for them. Because Johnny is a good friend of mine, and Johnny said to me, Vicky, I know you. If you could just write a check and fix it, you would. And the fact is that he's kind of right, because I don't want Robert to hurt, and I don't want any of you to hurt, and I don't want to have contributed to anybody hurting. But I also know that standing up, this is way harder. It's way easier for me to write a check. I have to tell you that. But this is harder. And when you do the right thing, when it's hard, you get to build your foundation of who you are. So whoever wants to judge can judge, and whoever wants to support can support. I'm not asking you to take a side. I'm not asking you to get rid of him or embrace him. I love the man. I do not want to believe, I'm going to tell you what I want to believe real quick. I want to believe that he messed up, something went wrong, and then he built something and thought if he get enough money there, he could fix that. He get enough money there, he could fix that. And he's robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what I choose to believe. Now, whether he's a long-term scammer and that's his intention, I don't know, but I choose not to believe that. I choose not to believe it. And that might be my naivete, but I don't think I could handle the alternative anyway, unless he tells me that or I see a serious pattern. But there's a lot of people in this chat that have been hurt. There's a lot of people that tweeted me, texted me, messaged me, left messages for me, Facebook messaged me. The list is long. I just want you guys to know that it is not a few people. The list is long. You've got to be careful. And Robert, again, if you're listening, I know that you know that I adore you. I know that you know I want nothing but the best for you. But if you have a problem, honey, you've got to get help. You've got to tell these people you're sorry. Come in here right now. I don't care if Raina's there. You pop in for a minute and say, I screwed up. I want to fix it. Let's schedule a time where we can fix it. You'll be on the road to recovery. But right now, this is bad, Robert. This is bad. Waiting a month and pushing me and forcing me and Stacy to do this is wrong. You have to fix this. So I didn't mean to go on a tangent, I didn't, but Jilly Sue, thank you for stepping up because I know where you're at. I know that your heart was breaking. And like you said, I'm trying to do stuff for my clients that got, and it's going to cost me my time and my money to cover those things to fix it, right?
And people need, I run my own direct sales company and I coach people and I'm still making up those coaching calls that we agreed to split. I'm still doing those 8 months later to try to catch up from this. And I'm by all means not rich. And so it's not just about money. I just needed the mailing list. I just said, I just need the mailing list so that I could cover my webinars and make it up to them. And so I just stepped away. I backed away and I let a couple people know. And when I saw the first tour set come up, with the first set of people, and then I saw it pulled down, and then there was and then you guys started your show, so I said, oh, this has kind of gone away. I'm so happy, good. I'm just, no one got hurt. He's doing his show. Everything's great. I love Robert, Vicky, you guys together. I love the show. Everything's good. And so this really just, my literal words, and the people know that I had the conversation with, I said, this is going to be bad because if money is going into one certain area and being held by one person, I just don't see this going well. But when it came up again, I thought with the show and everything, and then seeing you, Vicky, and Joel, and kind of everyone on board, and I said, well, those people, everyone, nothing's going to happen. And so honestly, I'm shocked and sad and just, it's sad just in the community in general, because we've really all believed for so long that everyone's authentic. And I'm not saying he's not authentic. I like you said, I think there's a problem, but I just think that everyone, we had to do this. And I'm with you, Vicky. I love him to death. We were probably on Periscope at the very beginning. I fell in love with him. We had a lot of fun, but I had to pull away, and I was happy to see that he was on track. So this just, it really is upsetting. So I feel your pain, and I stand beside you, and I stand beside Robert. If you're out there and you want to talk the same way, I'm here, and we'll forgive, but you have to get on track, buddy. We want you to get on track.
Right. So, exactly.
I love you guys. And
thank you, honey.
I'm here if you guys need me.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Based God, since this is your first day on Blab, I'm going to assume that you really don't have anything to contribute here, so I'm not going to let you in. And this is kind of for the community, but hopefully, if you do have something, of value in the future, then then we can talk about that. So that's Robert and Brittany, because if it's Robert, of course we will let him in. But I don't imagine you switched what. That's you, Robert? Brittany is, of course, Robert. Oh, Brittany's Robert? I'm confused. I don't think based God. You're telling me you're Robert? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That doesn't look like the symbol Robert would choose if he was going to create a fake account. I'm pretty sure he'd just come in under his own. Anyway, does anybody else want to come in? Besides Based God, who's trying to lie to us and tell us it's Robert. Robert, if it's you, honey, go sign in under your own account. You don't even spell my name right, sweetheart, so I'm pretty sure you don't know me.
You know
Yes, I
Daniel?
do. He was in here earlier and didn't have, and somehow he got kicked out.
I'll let him in.
Hey Becky,
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just wanted to call and let you know that I'm praying for you guys,
Thank you,
and
sweetheart.
I'm just glad that you guys are okay. So,
Thank you, honey. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your support. And you are a gem of a person, and we want to see you're just the kind of person we want to protect in the community, sweetie. You're fairly new to the community. You're 19 years old. It would be easy for you to get pulled in or swayed by someone that's kind of been a pillar of the community, and we want to make sure that that's not happening. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you do know that that's why we're here. It's for no other reason than to make sure that people are protected, because it's, as a community, that's our responsibility. Right?
yeah.
Okay. So does anybody feel like we need to let Based God in here? Because you are trying so hard, and I have a feeling that you're just going to do something inappropriate. So I think we should let Brittany in for a second. I think she's got something to say. And so, Daniel, thank you for popping in, honey. I appreciate you. Okay.
Thanks.
Really, Brittany? I mean, how is that helpful, Brittany? That's actually something funny for Robert, but honey, how is that helpful? So if you want to pop in, if you have something to say, then pop in, but don't do that. That's not helpful.
No, I don't think it was funny at all.
I mean, I don't get it. So anyway, let's see here. Sean, no, I don't. Sean, you're fairly new too. What's the 411? Well, the 411. Okay, for those of you who came in late, I know a lot of you did. We're trying to share that Robert is
okay. I'm kicking Based God out.
I hear you. I don't know that it's fair, but it's your lab. You can do whatever you want. I don't know if they have something valuable to say. He says I can't say it because you're not letting me in. Just okay. We're gonna give you 5 seconds. No, I'm not. It's Stacy's blab. I'm not gonna say a word. I'm staying out of it.
I'll do what you say, coach of mine.
Brittany, why are we going to trust what you're saying? Brittany, you just stuck Broadgate up here. Don't let him in. I don't know. Everyone's not vouching for you. Is anybody vouching for Based God? That is your first day on Blab.
Do you know Patrick?
I don't. Let's see. I don't think I know Patrick, but I don't know. Is there a way to do private blabs now? No, there isn't.
How are you?
Fine, honey. How are you?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to see. I didn't really agree with that last guy that came on and tried to basically, ruin the blab here tonight. But what are you guys talking about exactly?
Well, if you don't know, Patrick, it's probably not a good thing for you to be in the box, but we're talking about somebody that's taken advantage of people in the community, that has taken money from them and isn't returning it, and somebody who's kind of a pillar of the community, and it's breaking our hearts. So, but
I do apologize.
It's no problem. That's okay. Thanks for trying to be part of the community, though, Patrick. We appreciate you being here.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
Thanks, honey. Bye. Okay.
Okay, I threw Based.
Okay. All right. There you go. Does anybody want to pop in? I mean, anybody have anything to say? Because we can close it down. We're just the whole thing that we were trying to do. You want 3 minutes, Ricky, and you want to come in? Okay. Well, hurry. Because
Ram.
I don't. So not off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean I don't know them. At least it's not their first day. So
we'll let them in.
How you doing?
Hi.
How you doing? Sorry to hear about your news.
Thank you.
I think it's I think we are a community. I mean, just for example, we all came together. A lot of us came together. You knew DJ Sherry, for example. This proved when something like this has happened on opposite end of the scale. Hey, it sucks, right? But we just got to come together, and hopefully, for those who have been affected by it, obviously nobody else gets affected by it going forward. Now, obviously, I'm not sure about the whole situation, and I'm just getting the tail end of stuff. But I think, it's good that you're doing something like this. People, whatever's happened down the line or whatever went wrong, I think it's important that people are brought to face what's happened, and that you all people, if people have lost money, that this, you have to warn people. You can't just not do something. And I think you're doing something right. You're telling people what's happened. He's basically, pardon the pun, he screwed a few people over, whether it's his fault or something else, or he's basically dug himself a hole and got himself in too deep in whatever he was trying to do. But the main thing is you're doing something right, and you're basically telling people. So basically, other people who have been in this community for a long time don't get scammed or anything or sucked in again for going forward. That's the main thing. And hopefully, if it's God's will, you get some money back. If you don't, hey, I think it's one of these things we've got to just live with. It's crap, but hey, well, it's one of these things, you know. But I think going forward, you've got a good bunch of folk here kicking around. We all pretty much know each other in some way or form. We didn't know each other for Adam. If Blab wasn't created, we would never know anybody at all. We wouldn't be sitting here right now. So a good thing is we're here to help, and there is a good bunch of people here. And yeah, we all do stupid things. We all maybe get sucked in by people, and we'll get people that some are in wolves in sheep's clothing, and you've got to be careful. Yeah, you've got to be vigilant. But main thing is, hey, you're bringing it to the surface, and a lot of people wouldn't bring it to the surface, and you've done the right thing. You're telling people, and people are telling their story, what's going on. Okay.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Hang in there. Yeah, it hurts. I'm guessing it hurts like hell, but time's a healer, and hopefully, fingers crossed, through time with the support of the community, we'll get through this, and there'll be an answer, and hopefully, he will come out and answer for the actions that have happened. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, sweetheart.
No, take it easy, and I'll
have a great day.
You soon, okay. All the best. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So for those of you guys who are popping in, I will recap really quick, and that I'll point out that over $5,000 was donated for the computer and mic. I don't think anybody, Brittany, is saying that people are bad here. I mean, I don't think that's the case. Anyway, for those of you who are asking all these questions, what's going on? As you guys know, I had a podcast with Robert. He asked me to go on tour with him. He canceled the tour, but he has not refunded the people's money. That was the agreement we had. He had to get the money back to them right away. He's been making up a lot of excuses, and it's not just isolated to that 22 city tour. There's people that have come on here sharing that he borrowed money from them 8 months ago, 6 months ago, promised a list. He sold courses he didn't deliver. He has taken money from people for a Periscope thing that he was doing. He did group coaching that he never finished. And it's always these smaller amounts of money that he's accumulating and never returning to people. This has been going on for many, many months that we know about. We'd only know about since he's been here on this community. And so we're encouraging you to think clearly about whether or not you want to do business with him, but we are really trying to get him to fix it. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to shame him. We love him, and we just want it to be fixed, and we don't want anybody else to be taken advantage of. So that's what we're here. I love Robert. I chose not to do a podcast with him anymore because he hasn't paid people back. That's the truth of why everybody was asking me why, and he's telling people I booted him off the show, which is not true. I mean, I guess in essence, I guess you could say that I just said I refuse to do it with you unless you pay people back. And then he kept lying about it, and I just can't trust him anymore. And it doesn't mean I don't love him. I do love him. I love him. I love the man. I think he has a good heart, but I mean, I might be wrong. My radar could be off. I don't know. But the point is that the point is that I don't want anybody else to get taken advantage of. And, I don't want anybody else to get taken advantage of. I don't want anybody else to give him money. And he does have, just so, again, I got to say this, he has another event, a live streaming event that he's got up for October. And I highly recommend none of you, pay for that, because he still hasn't paid these people back. The only person he's paid back that I know of that didn't bounce is Stacy this morning, which I guess he could probably withdraw. And that was after she told him I'm going public, and he did it to shut her up. And that, I mean, Stacy wants to say he didn't do it, but to say to you, I saw the message back. Are you, oh, you're still going to tell people? Well, of course, it wasn't about the money. It's about the principle. It's about you taking advantage of people. It's about, and somebody asked me one day, they said, well, Vicki, if your people get their money back, if your clients, customers, and family get their money back, are you okay with that? And no, I'm not. This is everybody. It's not my people so I can sleep and not feel bad. This is everybody. So anyway, hi, Ricky.
What's up?
Hi, Ricky. Hi, honey. How are you?
You want us?
Yeah.
You want us to pause the recording? I want to respect what you want to do.
Just
You want me to do?
either. I'm not really too worried. I just thought, more people might speak up if they're not like on record. The recording button is quite a daunting thing, so it's more people would probably jump on. But I think like it just goes to show like when I first started on Blab, sorry, I'm eating, so. All right, so when I first started on Blab, everyone started off. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it's like, what was the one biggest word? Can anyone in the chat like type in the chat what the one biggest word everyone sort of preached at the start, apart from monetize? Authenticity. Now, authenticity. That was the biggest word. This isn't authentic. The whole way that's been like handled hasn't been authentic because it's been fronted. But now that it's been authentically approached to be like, well, what's going on? He's not there to front now. You know what I mean? He fronted before, but the true authenticity has come through now. And like I just been sitting here like eating my food and listening in, and like like I don't want to see this happen to anyone else. And I actually spoke to the Blab team and I said, like, would it be awesome if people could like work for an authenticity icon? They follow through with what they say. They're legit. Mm-hmm. Being Blab official. I think that's pretty important, right? As a community, if someone preaches to me and says, hey, buy my shit, I want to be knowing that my money's going to be going somewhere. Like, and like, I'm allowed to say this shit. I'm the king of Blabs, so that's that's it. So
yes, Ricky, you are.
Yeah. I mean, like I paid my dues. No, but like it's just like as a safeguard. I think everyone here like has an idea of like what they expect, right? Like they're like, oh, they sort of think, like you jump on camera and then you get involved and then it's like you see something interesting and you might buy it, and it's like it's not like that. There's actually real people on the other side of those cameras. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not 3 people on camera and then 85 total chatters. There's 85 people on the other side of screens with other people that could be viewing in the same room. This is big, Someone could be screen recording. We're recording right now. This sort of stuff goes viral in a matter of seconds, and like it's like I think like if it'd be easier, it'd be better. Even if like maybe like Robert did like a recording, if you guys like try to speak with him, at least people can have their opinion on it. No, but it's not fair that you guys have to speak on behalf of him.
And we don't want
because
we asked him to come in, Ricky, and he just
and let me just say something. You know what? He's really getting a lot of grace because Vicki and I are very devout believers in Christ, and you know what? If we weren't, a lot of people would have just went to the cops or whatever and opened up some type of investigation. We are giving him grace, but the duty to warn. I'm a marriage and family therapist by training. I spent over a decade working with drug addicts, gambling addicts, etc. And so it's just,
I mean, like, the reason why I'm saying it is more because of the fact that, like, how many more times does it have to happen to communities before they actually start realizing? That's a big turn point for a community like Blab, where it's like, I don't feel comfortable anymore. I might not go back there because I might get ripped off. You know what I mean? I mean, like, not like a lot of people, like, I don't have that much money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I managed to make my way around America, but like, I was crashing with mates and stuff. Like, I was couch crashing basically. I enjoyed it though.
But Ricky, I want to ask you a quick question, because I think I know you, and I don't think I think what you're saying, people think that you're supporting. Are you what are you looking? Are you frozen, or are you reading something else? Ricky.
I just had another message pop up. So,
you know, you're being rude to me, right, bro? You know I love
sorry,
you.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I like the so my comments, like the chat's here, and then like a random big pop comment.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
What I'm saying is, what you're saying is, you think that we shouldn't be doing this platform right now. We shouldn't be talking about it, because I don't think that's what you're saying, but that's what I think they think you're saying.
Who's that?
Well, some of the people in the chat. So tell us, just clarify what you're saying. You're trying to protect the community, but what is it that do you think this is wrong, what we're doing?
No, this here, like, I don't think this is wrong. I think, like, what I mean is, like, I think everyone just wants to hear it from Robert.
Right. We want him in here. We
That's
asked
it.
him to come in
Down.
and you know, I want him to come in because I want to intervene. I want to help him still. I want to fix it, and I can't fix it, but you know, that's what we want. And you know, like I said, I know your heart, Ricky, and you know, we've all messaged him. We all tagged him in here. You know, he doesn't want to come in because he knows this is wrong. It's wrong. He knows what he's doing is wrong. I mean, he knows it. You can't, especially as I know he's listening. And when people say 8 months ago, I loaned you money and you still haven't paid me back and I've been begging you. When people come in and say, hey, you got this mailing list, I'm still doing these conference calls, and I called you, I texted you, I emailed you. I have messaged the man probably 75 times, like trying to get information, right? And that's too much. That's not, and you know, you and I, when you were here, we got to chat for a few minutes. So you know, we want to hear it from him. But when people are hiding and they're not going to share, you know, I've given him.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Where are you?
He's actually live.
He's on Meebee.
Yeah, he's live on Meebee talking about Twitter.
Well, whatever. So he can't.
Is he looking at his Twitter?
He can't be on this show because he's with his daughter, but he's live on Meebee. I mean,
there's the proof right there. Okay, I mean, that's what he told me. He was going to be with his daughter. I just saw it.
Shots fired. I love it. That's crazy.
Okay, well, okay. Anyway,
So me eating on Blab is disrespect, but I don't know what's worse: me eating on Blab or Robert Stern's Meevee
it's
video
a
just
little
then.
of both, Ricky Prime. And as much as I love you, I'm going to kick your butt out of here. Go find Robert. Go find Robert, King of Blab. Go use your minions and go
Peace out.
find him. Love you.
Yeah, put the link back into Meebee so whoever wants to click on it can actually click on it and see him.
I don't even know. I'm gonna.
I just clicked on it.
Anyway.
That's
Hi,
insane.
ladies.
Mike, we'll let you in just
Unless-
1 second, honey.
I just want to go on the record and say this because Mitch did answer Vicky, and he said, well done, ladies. This needed to happen. I have to leave the blab, but support what you are saying. This has been an issue for a long time. Thank you. And when I was waiting for the feedback from Mitch, because like everybody else, you have things happen and you're observing and you're saying, well, is that me? Is that them? You come up with all of those excuses. But the bottom line is that in life, you always need to go with your gut. And my gut told me on day one, there was something there that just did not mesh. And I think that in the spirit of community for all of us, and like you say, wanting to protect one another, I don't really think it's our duty, our responsibility to protect one another. We each need to take responsibility for our own protection, but it is our responsibility to make each other aware of tools and ways to protect ourselves. And as Christian ladies, it's easy. We have something, another shield that folks who don't have that have. But Scientifically, one of the things that I did is I looked up the science of people. Vanessa Van Edwards programs. I don't know if you remember the television program Lie to Me, but she was the consultant called in to help read body language of people who were lying. And she actually offers a free course on Udemy to introduce you to body language skills. She also has a YouTube channel that's just huge with all kinds of free stuff that you can glean from. I've actually taken her courses, but I have to tell you that my own interaction here on Blab, it was one of the very best things that I did, because for me, and learning to watch in these boxes and just watching the reactions of people and being able to apply the principles that she taught. And I look at you, Vicki, and I want you to know something, girl. I have not followed you on Blab all this time. And it was because I was not into direct sales. Didn't have anything to do with you as a person, but I just thought, I don't need to have things about direct sales. I have a backstory of that. But when I've seen you on screen, you come through as the most genuine person out there. So I have absolutely no doubt, like everybody is saying, that you are the real thing. You deserve 1,000 hugs. I am following you now. We do follow each other on Twitter, and we do interact with one another. But I have my own direct sales story, and we won't go there. But the thing is that what has happened here, because of what Mitch said in that statement a long time, we also heard from another gal that it was clear back in May. You have to just take the evidence and look at it and say, where is the spirit of that person? And when I met that person, I saw, and the way and reading the body language, was a man who was hurting from the inside out, who had had very many difficulties in relationships, particularly with women. And he was in a place and time in his life trying to rebuild himself. I saw him at the beginning. I took screenshots. I had interactions with him. I watched him grow his audience on Blab. I didn't touch Periscope, but I watched it all evolve, and his audience on Twitter, and how that all came about. And I really felt like what you say in his heart, that he wants to do the right thing. And I've also studied this thing with men and women in relationships, because of what happened in my own life story. And the thing is guys aren't able to come forward in general and actually lay it out there and just say, man, I screwed up and I need help. And that's just the mechanics of how they're put together. And those that are evolved beyond that, God bless them. But it may not be possible for him to do that. And the thing that we have to do is go on. It's not bad. One of the things out of this is what you saw, the community coming together and say, hey, it is necessary for us all to get together in person. We do want to connect with one another. We do want to talk to the influencers in our community. So that was solidified. People put their money into it, said we do want to be there. And my own interaction with Robert is that other event you talked about, Vicki, of the live streaming event. I had shared with him in confidence a proposal I was working on in a nonprofit sense, in a real live, attached to a real live annual event that's been going on over 40 years. And I said, I would like to bring the community into that, because I, having been involved in online community building since the 80s, felt like this very thing, just like what you all were doing. You're going to have that need to get together in person just one time, if only. Now I want to see you, Vicki, just to hug you. That's it. I don't need to hear you say one thing. I just want that big hug. That's all, to let you know that you are loved. And that's where we have to go from here, is to educate one another how to be better at making evaluations and how not to become distraught over this issue. This issue, I'm sure Mitch will share down the road. I mean, there are ramifications to it. There are things that can be done. And it isn't about that. it is about the man's integrity, but he may not be in a position, and he may be all the good that we think at the core, but he may not be in a position in life where he can actually address it, because I can tell from having friended him on Facebook and watching what's going on, just from observing that things are not right in his life. And it is a very personal situation. And when that happens to any of us, man or woman, it does affect us in business. So.
Oh, I agree, Barb. I tell people that all the time, and that's why I tried to get him. That's why I asked him in the beginning, do you have the money? I made him look me in the eyes. I made him look me in the eyes and tell me that the tour was for real, because I was hiring a tutor. My son has some disabilities. He's got Asperger's. I had to hire a tutor. I had to go through I had to get rid of some clients. It's a 6-month tour that I went on, that I was scheduled to go on, and started promoting it. So I asked him and he promised, and I looked him in the eyes, and I'm usually really good, and I missed it. So I feel guilty. I'm going to be totally honest. I know it's not my fault. I know that's what I teach all of you guys as a business coach and a mentor. It's not my fault. My heart still hurts.
You bet. It's going to hurt for a long time. I can empathize with you 1,000%. I have hurts that have gone for years, but you'll be there. You'll make it. You have people around you who really care about you, and it will all work out. I promise.
Thank you, Barb. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Barb, stay right there, Barb, if you don't mind, because I was in that blab over, what was it? Summit weekend, when he announced his live stream.
Right. And I was there.
And Barb went nuts on him. But Vicki, this is what I want to say, because I had this conversation, and since Chocolate Johnny is talking about it, a while ago, Chocolate Johnny and I had a similar conversation to this. This has been going on longer than any of us knew. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying any of us knew in a general sense. The fact that he is on Meavy right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get it, by the way. I just can't seem to get it.
But all he's talking about is the Twitter rumors. The fact that he's on Twitter, knowing that you guys invited him in here, shows me what a sociopath he is.
Right.
That there's no remorse. He's carrying on like business as normal and promoting himself. But I just want to say, for those of you that are out there, when I first came to Blab, I heard this exact story. I didn't know Vicki. I didn't know a lot of people here, but I started hearing these stories from people, and my thing is to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Me too.
And so I did that, but then I started hearing things from New York Summit, and then I started hearing this, and then when he did the thing with Barb, and Barb, I don't know if you were still in the room when he made his live streaming announcement. He asked me to participate, but not to participate because of my skill, to participate because of my celebrity connections.
Mm.
Because he wanted big name celebrities there. That right there told me that everything that everyone that I've heard through the grapevine, that right there told me that he was a user and a scammer. Because if you want someone to participate and be part of the planning process, you don't say, I want you for your He said it out loud. On air, I want you for your celebrity connections. That's all I want you for.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I'm sorry, honey. I mean, really.
He's...
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I mean, I was so emotionally distraught over it because
Barb, you weren't emotionally distraught. You were pissed.
I'm sorry. I didn't want the girls to know that.
And Barb did. She read him up one side and down the other, and it was deserved. And I had never met Barb before that, and I was like, hey,
"What were you mad about?" I don't understand because I wasn't there. What were you mad about?
I think it's recorded, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah, he planned his live streaming event around Barb's event.
Well,
the same weekend.
I haven't. This is on record here again, but I actually do work with brand names, and again, it's recorded, so I don't want to go there. But I was working on something very real, but the whole concept, because I'm also a cancer survivor, I'm working the nonprofit angle. And I said, let's do this for the good of all. I feel like I was saved for a special purpose. So I was approaching it not from a profit standpoint, but let's make this a fundraiser that will have an international impact, because we're going to have an international audience to address it and feed it, including sponsors, brand name sponsors, etc. I confided in him privately, and I told him the time frame in October that it was, and I said, set this time aside because I'm going to need you to help me get all, like Vicky and everybody else, get involved in this. And so that's the day before, and the next day he calls this conference or this emergency thing that he's had this concept for all these months of getting all these people together. And he's doing this with these people in Texas, and it's during my event.
And in the same location, your event.
Oh, no, his was in Texas and mine was in New Mexico. And I know New Mexico and Texas and how they work together on this particular event. And so I said, that's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. But okay, I've only got 40 years of event experience. So, it's like,
well,
what could I possibly know?
The one
but
thing
Irene, I'm sorry.
Yeah, someone saying the maybe that we were looking at was actually a replay.
I actually did just go pull it up. It is recorded. But the one thing I wanted to jump in here and saying is Robert's not the only one that people are talking about. And that's why I said to you, Vicky, people aren't as strong as you to come forward and do this. So maybe with your strength, your demonstration of strength tonight, these people will come out and talk about the people they've bought courses from and never got anything from, that are recent courses, like since my 100 and some odd days on Blab, like recently purchased stuff from these coaches and mentors and influencers or digital marketers or whatever the flavor of the week label is today. Maybe they will have the strength to come in here, because I know a couple of them are in here right now. Maybe they will have the strength to come in here and stand up and say, hey, so-and-so did this to me. Because quite frankly, with the one person, and here's the thing, guys, is whether it's Chocolate Johnny or it's Aaron from Archon Mounts or it's any other business that supports the live streaming community, the fact that they are, yes, I am Bianca, the fact that they are supporting our community and they're aligning themselves with these digital marketers, influencers, whatever the flavor of the week is, it's affecting their business too, because you are, believe it or not, you are judged by the company you keep.
Right.
So
right.
I've been finding
you're
that out.
absolutely right.
I found out yesterday, I think, that people have been talking about me because I was associated with Robert, but yet nobody told me. I mean, I said yesterday on my scope, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. But once you know it, that makes you accountable. And that's why my heart was broken yesterday. And, and
oh my gosh.
And I didn't publicly, I've known this is going on for a while and I've been trying to get him to fix it, but I didn't publicly say this, but I'm going to publicly say this right now. I thank Stacy because I felt alone, right? I was on my scope yesterday and I wasn't talking about this. I was talking about building in bridges or burning them. And then somebody asked a question and I said, well, my heart's kind of breaking right now. Somebody's burning some bridges. And then the questions just started coming. And then I just started sobbing, right? Which, that's become a non-atypical. It's obviously, and then people are saying, what they wanted to do. And then I was saying, but is it right? And I asked questions and I said, I know this is hard, but I have to do something. And they're saying, yes, you need to do the Blab. And I said, but I don't know how. You just pop out and go, by the way, I'm going to talk about this. And then I find out later that Stacy got on and actually named him. And because she's actually been harmed. But I wanted to say thank you, Stacy, because that, as I told you personally, but I'm telling you, publicly, I've always stood alone on stuff like this. I've always stood alone because people don't want to get involved. They're afraid. And I get it. I don't judge you. I don't think badly of anybody, but I always stand alone. So when you can't
stand alone though.
Well, no, I don't mean stand alone. I mean, like, like to say the name or to speak the name. I don't mean alone. I mean, there's people that were supporting behind the scenes, but Stacy actually said the name, and Stacy actually planned this blab, and Stacy was willing to go the distance where most people say, yeah, I'm behind you. And then when you turn around, you can't find them. They're behind you very, very, very far.
So. It's not funny, but I will admit, because Johnny's speaking out, is I had this conversation with Johnny way back when. And Sonia just asked me, there are other people doing the same thing. Sonia, if I had the experience, I would tell you who they are, but it's not my fight. But when the same thing as with Robert, I had more than one person come to me and say, you know, I see this with Robert, I see that with Robert. This is what Robert did to me. This is what Robert did to me. I had more than one person. I have more than one person saying the same thing about these other influencers that every one of us, and I come from entertainment social media, so all of you influencers or whatever the label is this week, because it changes every week, I had no connection to any of you guys because I work in a niche of social media. So you guys are a whole new world for me. So, but when I hear this, not the same people, when I hear the same name come up from different people over and over and over again, there's truth to that. So I'm hoping that the people who have had this experience, that I know they're in here right now, and they paid this woman several $100s for a course. I hope that when I leave screen after I'm done, I hope that you come in here and you expose them as well, because they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. And some of the people in this room are very connected and very close to that person. And with that, I'm going to drop my mic. And Vicky, I'm just down the road. I know we haven't always gotten along. I know I'm a little too X-rated for your PG-13. But I will go kick some ass in New Jersey on your behalf if I need to.
The Bible News Radio. Thank you, Ed.
I love you. Thank you, Ed.
All right, guys.
Bye. Bye, Barb.
I need
Thank
to
you,
get
honey.
going too.
Okay.
I'll see you, girl.
Bye, honey.
Thanks,
Thank you. Alessandra, we've been waiting for. She's just trying to get in. So,
hello. Can you guys hear me?
yeah. How are you?
Hi. I'm a lot better now that I think, you know, you guys were talking about people who were trying to discuss this with people and kind of spread the news. And honestly, Vicky, I was one of those people who was like, should I talk to Vicky about this? Because I mean, I was one of the people who helped organize the original Austin stop of the tour. And so it was Austin and Houston. And it's not just one or two things. There were literally 5 or 6 different things that happened with things with me or things with other people that I could verify happened. People not getting paid for the work they had done. The tour date supposedly continuing on, where he would say, oh yeah, that tour date actually happened when it never even happened. So he was lying to people on Blab. This was around the time when he was announcing his book. A lot of different things that I would continually hear, or people would come to me and say, hey, I know you've had experience with this, or have heard other people have been hurt. And we were just kind of like trying to build that community within. You know, we were like, oh, well, if we tell each other, or if we know someone's working with him, we'll kind of warn people and just let it be. What actually happened, I mean, we would personally contact people. And so I contacted someone, reached out to someone who I know he was working with closely. And it was really interesting because their reaction was like, it clearly, like, they didn't believe me. You know, they were like, okay. You know, it wasn't like, thank you. I'm so glad that even though you're going out of your way and you don't know me, you're going out on a limb to tell me this information and help me avoid any kind of issues in the future. You know, they were like completely in disbelief because they saw his public persona. And his public persona, because they didn't know me, spoke more to them than because they did not have that relationship with me. So that was really disconcerting. That was something that I was like, is this going to happen if I talk to Vicky or someone else that potentially doesn't know? Right. And I was like, how can I rise above his public persona, the thing that we all know him as, and the thing that we all liked him for? Like, we, you know, from the beginning, we all thought, you know, he's a great guy. And Vicky, I feel you on that I usually have a really good perception of people and can spot when people are not doing the right thing.
Right.
Did not happen. Did not happen. I mean, I had other people warn me even before I, helped him organize a tour, and the radar wasn't there. I think it's just one of those things where I think it's great, especially that you guys organized this, that you had the courage to do this, because what would break my heart just as much as it breaks my heart that people have already been wronged, and more than just the tour you're talking about, like other things before that, things long ago. What would break my heart is if it's like he can come on here or whatever and say, I'm sorry, and I'll pay back the money, and things keep on happening. Because of the platform that we all have, that we can go on and, whether or not he was live on a Meevee right now or not, if tomorrow he can come on here and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and do as much that's needed just to fix like whatever he thinks needs to be fixed, and then potentially keep on doing those things and keep those behaviors happening, because he can use the platform and find new people that don't know about, that we're not in this blab, that's concerning to me. That's so concerning to me.
Alessandra, that's one of the reasons that I felt necessary. Somebody mentioned to me yesterday that he's going after the newbie market, the Perry newbies, and they don't know any better. And of course, they're going to look on Periscope. They're going to look at his heart count and his follower count, and they'll look over here, and then they see this persona. And the thing is that he does have that charismatic thing, and where you think of him like this this dad or this big brother, and that's what was breaking my heart too, is because I couldn't do it anymore. And like I said before, I don't blame anybody. I actually have made a couple of those phone calls. Most of them went well. One of them, I felt like I got attacked, and then it got better because I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. Like, I'm just going to do it because it's right, and they're going to figure it out later, and they can apologize later, or they can hate me, or whatever they want to do. But the first two, which, like, I'm telling you, my stomach was sinking. I totally get it. And I get why other people, why they don't want to. And like I said, that's why I think Stacy for standing up, because for me to sit here by myself, who knows who would come in, right? Who knows who's going to actually come in, or who's going to go, that girl's trying to get attention or whatever. And so I respect you for sharing right now, because it's giving credibility to the pattern of what's going on. But like I said, I got kind of attacked today. And then I said, you know what? These people, I listed off, I think 8 names. And I said, just so you know, I hear what you're saying, but just so you know, if you want to verify what I'm saying is valid, then here's some people. Here's a list. And if you know them, you can ask them. They've given me permission. And if you don't, then that's okay. And then he came back and goes, oh, I do know them. I'm really sorry. And so anyway, so thank you for sharing that, because again, anybody who knows me knows I am not about hurting anybody.
And you know what? Can I just say something? The last time Vicki, me, and Robert were together was on her birthday. We did this epic Perry train that Robert initiated, and, here it is less than 2 months later.
Anyway, but Alexandra, thank you. Hi, Kevin.
How are you, dear? I want all of you ladies to get those frowns, get that sad stuff off your face, because now, guess what this does? It now provides Vicki Fitch to have her own tour to get going, and to make it so that everybody who had the attention focused on the doggone gentleman who was the topic of discussion, now this gives you the opportunity to do you. Stop frowning, stop fretting. I'm telling you right now, this is your opportunity to say, you know what? The evil side of nature wanted this to be a bad thing, but now I've got my turn. I've got my turn, and I think you need to take advantage of that, because now that people can see what has happened, the attention is on the real deal. So it was weeded out. So the gentleman who is the topic of discussion has nothing to do with what can come about from this whole scenario. And I'm telling you, what you focus on expands. We've already discussed, you guys have already discussed what the problem is. It's out there. It's done. Let it be. Now focus on you creating this tour, because if you commit it and people have gotten familiar with you being on the tour, give them the tour. Give them the tour. Period.
Would you like to sponsor that, Kevin? Would you like to sponsor that?
I will. Any city on the West Coast, I will help you with. You do your thing. I can't be a part of it because I have my own tour, but anything that you need to do on the West Coast, and there are plenty of people here on the West Coast who will help you. But dear, focus on what it is that can come about. Start crying tears of joy. I'm telling you, start crying tears of joy. Yes, he did something wrong. Yes, it's a pretty lugubrious place to be in, knowing that someone did something to you that you trusted, that you put your name beside, that you showed up week in, week out to be on the show for. But doggone it, man, tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised, Vicky. Tomorrow's not promised, Stacey. Tomorrow's not promised, Alessandra. You cannot go to bed and then wake up like most people will, talking about the blab yesterday about what Robert said. Damn that. And pardon my language, focus on getting the tour, even if it's small. Go to a couple of cities. Go to a couple of cities starting out. People will love you just because of this. Out of the ashes rises a phoenix. Do your thing, Vicky. Ladies, love and light to you. And for the top gentlemen of the topic of discussion, if you are listening, man, correct your wrongs, brother. Correct your wrongs. Everybody has done wrong, but this one is pretty egregious. Allow this to be a chance for you to correct your wrongs, because this has gone on probably before all of us met and connected on social media. Correct your wrongs, brother, if you're listening. But Vicky, take this like a phoenix, rise and make sure you do what you can with all the attention that is now on you. Love and light, good people. I'm out.
I love you, Kev.
I want to commend you guys. I agree with Kevin that it's an amazing thing that you've done here. And, this is what's amazing about the community, about the live streaming community, that we can, gather around this. So thank you guys. I support you, and I'm so thankful that you brought this, to attention. So thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Alessandra. Appreciate you being here, honey.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
How you doing?
I am love and light, phoenixing right out of the ashes, brother. What do you think?
Love you, girl. Love you both. Well, yeah.
Thank you.
I just got texted off watching the game to jump in to see this, so
wow.
I won't say. Someone texted me. So, but I just tuned in to see this, but I assume this came from our conversation the other day.
It is. We're just trying to give people an opportunity to. We've just found out more stuff, and so it really just was helping people to have a voice and not feel alone, and know that they are not alone, and that it's not just them, and that action needs to be taken. And we can't. I always say you can't accept unacceptable behavior, and that's where we're at right now. And so we were just giving people, because we are going to just move past it. And that's why we're giving people a chance to, if they wanted to share, to get it off their chest. Because honestly, I've been holding this for this month, and I've been alone. And so now and so Kevin, if you're still here, which I don't know if you are, my darling, but just so you know, I don't intend to wallow in this. I'm not a wallower. My heart was broken. My heart's still going to break. It's not going to, it takes time, and I could stick some chewing gum in there, and I'm going to wrap some Band-Aids around it. And when I hug you next week, if you're still there, it will start to repair, but it takes some time. But I'm not going to wallow. I'm not a wallower. I'm a fighter, and I'm a nurturer. And so I want things to be better, and I want it to be better for the community and not just myself. But I know there's people that are pissed off. And so I feel like this is the opportunity for them to vent and let it all out. So they don't, I can see other people having another blab about this. I don't want to see another blab about this. It's up to you guys, your lives, right? But I would like to, let's dump it, get it done, and move on, because I still want Robert to fix it. I still want him to fix it. And, and that's just, like I said, that's me. I just want him to fix it. So.
Okay. Well,
can I address a comment about the PayPal?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because from what I understand from somebody who contacted me today about it, because that's where, I'm not paid from and everything. And I was told that basically the PayPal has frozen his account at this point, because there's been so much going on there.
Your audio is having.
Yeah, I don't know yet. Is that my audio or is it?
I think it's Stacy. You sound like you're really far away, Stacy, from your microphone.
Okay.
Really, it sounded like it came in from John.
If you ever get
is it
No, it's you, Stacy. I hear his static, but you are always every time you're in and out. His static is now rising above, so it's making it a little harder. But your microphone sounds like it's really far away from you.
So
you want me to refresh?
No, just stay closer. Go ahead. What are you saying, Tim? Before Johnny
the PayPal thing there, Stacy. So I've had PayPal where when accusations get made, they shut down accounts. I've had it happen before because when I had an event, someone made an accusation against me. Until it was corrected, my account was frozen. So I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm not. I don't know all the stories. I mean, only going from what Vicky and I have discussed and what here. So I'm. Some people need to make things right. So.
Thanks.
Well, I can tell you this morning. I know because you came in late, but I can tell you from this morning that I told Robert I was going to go public, and I already went public, and he instantly refunded me my money, $130, and then he asked. Then I told him, okay, I'll let everybody know tonight when I go public again, and he said, "Oh, you're still going to do that?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do that."
Well, and I'm glad that.
Okay.
Anyway.
I don't. I mean, everyone here. I've met you because of something being online, and I think Vicky, I'm probably closest to you out of the three of you. Guys, if I ever screwed up, I hope you as friends. I mean, because we all screw up in life. And I hope you as friends can. I know Vicky knows she can make a phone call to me, and you know what I mean. And that's the way I like to be and accountable with my friends, because I'm not perfect. And when you do get to this position where you screw up in life, you either get up and make right. But I pray really is whether you look at this right or wrong. You know what I mean? Whoever's seeing this is that I have friends like you who will say, come to me first and say, hey, you need to fix this. And that if I don't, then you make it public and say, Tim, you need to fix this. All right. And I'm using that as putting it on myself because I know I'm not a perfect person and nobody is. But I hope I have my friends are as true as you've been, Vicky, to go, hey, we need to fix this. So, you know what I mean? And I am honored. Was that Johnny we lost? I am honored that to have you as a friend.
Thank you, honey.
So, yeah.
I don't know if Johnny had to go or if Johnny, can you come back in?
Johnny, you okay? But Vicky, I do want to bring you to Dallas for a speaking engagement. So we'll talk.
Please do.
I want to do an event together with you. So
I would love to. Thank you, Tim.
You
I'll
bet.
see you later,
So,
honey.
all right. Yeah. Johnny coming back. I don't want to leave you alone. Johnny coming back in.
Okay. That's okay. I know there's a couple other people that was trying to come back. Yeah, but Tim, thank you. I appreciate that. And I would love to do that. And I don't want anybody to feel obligated, by the way. No. Nobody feel obligated for me, but thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to participate in events. And, again, I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys. You're great. So thanks, Tim. We'll see you later, honey.
All right. Bye, girls.
Bye, babe. Bye. I know Johnny's coming back in. He said 1 minute. Mike wanted to come in too.
Is that better though for me?
A lot better. Hi, Mike.
Okay.
How are you, honey?
Can't hear Mike.
Oh, Mike, no audio, honey. Mike, I think you need to refresh. I'll let Johnny in. Okay, you come back in.
Can you hear me?
Well, Johnny, now we lost you. I think you have to refresh. Oh, there you are. Wait, I see you moving, but I don't hear you.
Okay, tell me if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're just on a delay. Like we see your mouth and your voice different.
Tell me when you can hear me.
Well, now you're audio only, but...
Oh, I see him fine.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, I don't see you, but okay. Hold on, let me refresh really fast. Maybe it's me.
Stacy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Okay.
There we are.
And Vicky's back.
I'm going to be... I was just had to make a quick hot chocolate, so I'm really sorry. I got on and got off, so I'm dashing in and out. But I'm here to make a formal public apology to Vicky because
I knew something a long time ago, and I should have said something to you. So I'm saying I'm sorry. And I hope this has taught other people to have the balls to start saying something, not just about Robert, but when other stuff happens, to go and say, hey, listen, this is what I've heard, whether I'm right or wrong, but this is what I've heard.
Just a sec, Mike. I started. We can kind of hear you, Mike. Just a minute. Go ahead, Johnny.
So, this is a great lesson.
Even waited.
Go ahead. Whoops.
But
Where'd he go?
people,
I don't know.
Can you guys hear me all right?
I can hear you, Johnny. I'm listening.
Okay. This community is just amazing. People don't realize how strong, powerful, protective, loving, caring a community it is. This doesn't happen anywhere else. This doesn't happen anywhere else. I mean, Stacey put it out there. Everyone's here watching, helping. Robert doesn't realize how lucky he is if he can see what's going on. But these people don't want his blood. They actually now want to help him. I mean, he's lucky that he's got Vicky Fitch, because if it was anyone else, they would have stripped him. So everyone's got to realize that, my hat off to you, Vicky. Well done. I'm so happy I am your friend. I am so proud of you. And I know your heart is bleeding. And Stacey, well done. I'm hearing this stuff. I'm juggling between listening to you guys and trying to serve customers and trying to make hot chocolates. I've got you in my pocket, but I know that this will be good. You don't realize how many people you've helped. And I know that there's thousands of people out there right now who are definitely honoring you and thanking you guys for doing what you've done. And this is not about Robert right now, but this is about you guys now helping other people, from other scammers. And one of the first things I said on Periscope many, many months ago, the fakers won't make it. The fakers won't make it. You have to be raw and real. And this is a bunch of people who are raw and real and who are full of love and full of protection. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that guy who just put that Robert scam Stern, seriously, go home. This is not a joke.
Yeah. But Johnny,
Yeah,
Johnny, I want you to know that I don't blame you, and I don't blame anybody. I know.
I know you don't. I'm not saying that I'm just, for me, I feel better now that I can publicly say it. And it's taught me a lesson to really stand up and say, when something's wrong, pull that person aside. And say, hey, this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but please be careful. That way, then that person has had it in their brain to go, okay, what do I need to do next? What do I need to find out more? I've spoken with Mike. I've spoken with Ed. I've spoken with so many people. People were coming to me and telling me stuff, and I'm thinking, what do I do here? And you just, as a person, you think, should I, shouldn't I, should I, should You're torn between it.
Yeah.
You're torn between it. But if your gut and instinct says, say something, please do it. Please do it. Don't be afraid. On that note, I've got to go and serve these lovely girls who want hot chocolates. Love you guys. Vicky, proud of you. Well done. Stacey, you're a legend. Mike DeAngelis, you're just a funny guy, and I think you're hilarious. But I love you too, mate. Guys, take care. Please, one thing, support, love each other, help each other, be there for each other. Chocolate Johnny's blabbing
Hi,
out.
babe. Hi. Can we hear you, Mike? It's almost like I hear a background somewhere, Mike.
Yeah, I can't read.
I don't.
I would refresh.
Did you refresh? Oh, I think you did before. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It's like some other mic, microphone somewhere. Wait.
Maybe something else is on. Hold on.
Oh, I think I started to hear him though.
Yeah, it's strange.
Okay, let's see.
How's that?
That yes,
You got it
you're
now?
back. Yeah, you're here.
I
Hi, Mike.
I was playing with a mic before. I had it checked off wrong.
Oh, got you.
So now, Vicky, this is the first month that you've heard this, or you've heard rumblings for a while now, and
No, Mike, the first thing somebody asked me, what do you trust Robert? That's the only thing. Somebody said, do you trust Robert?
how long
and I
ago was that?
That was when we first started the podcast, but they didn't say anything about it. And I said, well, yeah, what do you mean? Like, I just wonder if you trust him. What do you think of him? And I said, I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. And at that time we were just doing a podcast. So, it wasn't, it was a question. It wasn't anything that was, and I was like, why? And I don't know. I was just wondering. And so that's the only thing. And so it wasn't like, there was no data, there's no information, there was nothing about it. So it wasn't until after Summit that, even though I knew that he canceled the tour the day before we were the day actually we were supposed to leave. That's when he told me. And then I found out at Summit that he hadn't even told, like Joel was talking to me. We were supposed to be speaking together the following week, and Joel didn't even know that Robert had canceled it, but Robert told me that he had told him.
Well, now you realize you couldn't run into Kathy Hackles, so
Well, yeah, see, I didn't know that, and that's what I'm saying. All these people, all this stuff, but nobody said anything.
Well, what happened over the summer? Well, before the first Periscope summer in New York, I mean, a lot of people knew it because I told them, the first one he was setting up with Vinny Landino and some other people. And what happened about a month and a half before he started planning that, I had a call one day, and he said, I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. I can't get online. I got to use the Wi-Fi here. So I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but, I have all this money tied up in PayPal for my event, and I can't pay my bill. So I said, well, can you? I said, listen, I'll pay your bill directly. You want to give me the information? I'll pay the bill directly. Are you going to pay me back? He said, yeah, I'm going to pay you back Thursday. I said, Robert, I'm right over the bridge. Are you going to pay me back? And he said, yes. So, all right. So I paid the bill. Thursday came and gone. And I just let it go for a little while, let it stew. And then I caught him. Before that, he asked me for $10,000. This is a month before that to help him pay for Vinny's tour and everything. And that I took Vinny out to dinner to tell him, because I told him, get away from this guy because he's used your name all over the place trying to get money off of you, money raised on your name and stuff. So he asked Robert for upfront money. He couldn't give it to him, blah, blah, blah. So he said, give me $10,000. I have this tour. I'm going to show you how we make a lot of money, blah, blah. I said, you don't want to borrow $10,000 from me, Robert, because that's the kind of money that can get me in trouble. So, he kept trying me to let it borrow him. So it took him like 2 months. And then he was trying to be normal with me one day. And I said, dude, you owe me $380 for 2 months. And you're acting normal with me? I said, you know what? I had enough of this. I said, I'll be at your house at 6 o'clock. 5 minutes later, PayPal came with the money. So they paid me back. But, I knew from then that was a problem. And this is, June, July? So it's going on a long time. And then when I went to Periscope Summit, I don't know if you know Vivian from Philadelphia?
What's her handle? Because I get confused by some of them. Is it Bonita?
Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So her and about 7 or 8 other girls gave him money for a course online or call up or whatever he was doing. And he never gave them the course. He never gave their money back. So I tried to approach him Periscope Summit. I couldn't get the right place to grab him because she was all upset, and he still owes them the money. I know he owes 4 or 5 other guys money. Somebody just called me, asked me for his address the other day. So he owes somebody money that he really shouldn't owe it to. So I feel bad for him.
Well,
all I have to say.
When you say that, Mike, I was never telling anybody this.
Oh, Vicky. And when I saw you making all these plans, and I'm like, I was talking to Johnny. I said, John, I feel, like the girl's real close with him. I said, I'm going to tell her this. And she, I don't even know what to do with her. I mean, I said, maybe you could say something. That's why I said, Vicky, I want to talk to you, but I don't know how you were going to handle it. I don't know if you were going to stick up for him and say, no, it can't be, or, I didn't want to cause a problem for you, but I maybe, and that's when Johnny talked to you.
Well, Johnny just talked to me recently, but
yeah, well, know.
Well, yeah, and like I said, hey, I don't blame any of you because I had the same struggle that you're talking about calling these other people. I did, trust me. I mean, I had the same struggle of like, oh my gosh, I need to call this person and I need to call this person, and so.
But I don't know what it's about. I don't know if he has a habit. I don't know if he don't want to work. I don't know what. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't want to work and they want us to give them money. Okay, so whatever.
But Mike, I wasn't gonna say this before, and nobody really. There's only one person on this earth that knows this because I haven't told anybody. But he called me. He called me one day. This is before I was doing the show with him, before I even knew him, and did the same story about his internet's down, and he was at the cafe.
Wow.
Now, is it the same day? Because I told him I don't loan people money because I don't want to have this kind of.
Was
risk.
this like last spring or summer?
I can't. It's months ago. It's before we started the show, so it had to be 4 months.
He probably used the same thing on everybody.
That's
but
what I'm wondering.
I'm the only guy that said, "Listen,
look, they're saying I heard the same story. I heard.
I'll pay it directly, but I'm not sending you money." I mean, I don't know if he was a junkie, if he's, I don't know what he was, but I knew. You know what? Honestly, I knew like this is kind of his life, and I kind of felt bad for the guy. So I said, you know what? It's $400, whatever. I spent that in worse places. So I sent it to him.
I hear you. And like I said, that was my thing.
And then he made a jerk out of me. So then I started getting a little pissed off.
Well, I don't blame you. But I want you to know something too. You're not the only one he asked for $10,000. Somebody sent me a message today that he asked them for $10,000.
I tell you what got me. This is what got me. He owed me the money. And then all of a sudden he had a new microphone and he had I'm saying, look at this guy. He owes me money. He's buying all new shit. And that's when I went off on him. I said, I'm going to come see you 6 o'clock. I don't even want the money. And boom, he paid me.
Well, just like what he did with Stacy when she threatened to go public and then he paid.
I wasn't going to go public. I was going to go punch him in his face. So,
Well, I already went public, but I told him that I was going to go public again tonight.
But I don't know. And, I was kind of trying to think about it even through the summit. And I was a little turned off with New York and everything. I'm just trying to figure out, does the guy have a problem? Is he a gambler? Is he a
sociopath?
I don't know if it was just a straight up lazy guy who didn't want to work. And, when he first came on, I was trying to put two and two together. You do a little research. He's a real estate agent. He's got this, that. So I'm going here's a guy who couldn't make it in real estate. Got a social media expert. Oh, then he kept calling me. He wanted to help me. He wanted me to pay him to help me with the business or whatever. But, I don't know what his problem is. So I guess we're never going to find out unless he says something.
Yeah.
Got to say something. Listen, if he has a problem, gambling, drugs, drinking, whatever, you know what? It's still not good, but, shit happens. So listen, if he's got a problem, at least it's an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're straight up beating people, that's bad.
It is.
I'm not saying the other way is good, but at least it's an excuse. It says, I'm a drug addict, I'm a gambler, or I can't stop, I got a daughter, or we're just supporting his lifestyle. I don't know.
Because that's the way it seems. That's the when you said that about the internet bill, that's why my mouth dropped open. Because that's the same. He was sending me these messages like, "Oh my gosh, I got to talk." And I didn't even know him at the time. And he's like, I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh my God. And then, and anyway, I'm really glad that you said that.
It could just be that supporting his lifestyle, Vic. I don't see, I saw him at the New York Summit and I was kind of trying to line him up a little. I mean, besides not smelling too good, I didn't see he was on drugs and.
Right. I didn't either. I met him only the one time, but no.
I don't know. He's not drinking.
Yeah.
So gambler. He's not womanizing. It's not like he's got hookers coming to the house. I mean, so I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
No, but listen, I've been around the street a long time, so I could pretty much size a guy up. To me, it didn't look like he had any kind of like one of those problems. So that's why I got a little angry, you know? So, whatever. But another thing I said to him, I said, Robin, well, what's this PayPal? I said, why aren't you using Eventbrite or something? PayPal's like a real scammy. So I said it to him, real scammy way to do business. I don't know how anybody's going to send you money and trust you. I wouldn't send you money for a ticket in PayPal. I want you to use a system that generates tickets and holds the money and stuff like that. Make sure the event goes off, you know? So when you're using PayPal, that's a red flag.
Or even credit cards, because credit cards give the holder in due course. You know, at least the credit card company protects the
but Eventbrite was the way to go. And I told him if I was ever going to do anything like that, so like finance something, it's got to be.
And you want to hear something, Mike? The reason that didn't strike a nerve with me, well, PayPal, that's different, but the Eventbrite thing, because Eventbrite doesn't give you the money until it goes through. And if you got to pay deposits on 22 locations, I wouldn't be able to sponsor that. So, well, I wouldn't. Like, I don't have.
I said to
that's
him,
what I'm saying. That's why Eventbrite wouldn't work for me, because you can't get the money until you're done. And it's like, you'd have to have a lot of deposit. You have to have a lot of cash yourself. So that's why that didn't.
Right. You know. But that's when he said to me, I said, listen, if you want to have a tour and you can prove that you have a lot of people interested, okay, you let them go on Eventbrite and you do one location or two locations. I'll get involved in. I'll put the deposit in place. I'll go there. I'll talk to the people. I'll do everything. You're going to sign a contract. Everybody involved is going to sign a contract, and stuff like, and I'll get involved. Okay. Mm-hmm. But there has to be, people that want to do it, obviously. Mm-hmm. And, and he didn't want to do it that way. So.
Well, that I guess says something, right? I mean.
Yeah. Well, so that's it. Eventbrite, at least people feel comfortable giving you the money. Mm-hmm. And I feel comfortable that the people are going to go. And then if you want to put a deposit in the place, because I said, he's got all of these places mapped. I'm saying, this is ridiculous. Why don't you do one or two and see how it works out and then do the rest? I mean, I couldn't even understand how anybody couldn't fathom that this guy couldn't put deposits on all these places. I picked up on it right away.
You know what he sent me today? He actually sent me a message today talking about how, let's see here, I can tell you. He claimed that he put down, he says here, okay. Basically, I told her to go public. He wrote this. He said, well, by doing so, it affects more people, as you say. I never misled anyone. I'm not a con artist. I have and always have to people when needed and information. I haven't lied about anything. If anything, I personally lost $7,000 because of this. From advertising, and the Arizona trip was scheduled at hotels and contracts. They sent me the cancellation bill. I still have to pay. So doing the public thing, in my opinion, is wrong. And my family, my daughter, becomes affected. And now that becomes personal to me. So the come clean thing is horribly said. Yes, I'm going through a horrible time with my ex. That's it. I still help others and want to always do that. But this type of thing makes it impossible to do.
Yeah, but where is all the money then?
That's what I kept asking him. I asked him and I told him, Robert, if you want me to keep trying to support you, I want to see, because he kept telling me it was done. Then he told me, okay, I haven't done it yet. Okay, I'm doing it. Oh, I'm waiting for the money to come back in from PayPal into my PayPal account. And then I said, then I want to see a screenshot of the PayPal account when, because then he sent me a thing, the money's back in. I said, I want to see the screenshot from PayPal showing me the money's there, because he said the power is out and that's why he couldn't deliver it. This is after the fourth time. And then like I said, at my show, because I told him I wouldn't go on the show again. What are you doing, Stacy?
Just
that's it.
So I told him if I won't go on the show again until it's paid off. And then he sent me the message that morning, said, make sure you get the guest host, which I already had, and because my power's still out. And then he was live streaming. He was Snapchatting and live streaming from Meavy during the show. So he just lies, and that's the lie, the lies. And that's the part that's killing everybody, is that it's the lies. And that's why I don't think he's trying to change. And then I know I'm not going to say who, but in the chat box, he owes money for services rendered that he hasn't taken care of too. So it's not just the conference. It's not just the, he was also, I mean, apparently he's got a whole list of things.
I thought I saw his house one day, or the thing he rents there, whatever it is. I thought I saw no furniture in it. I don't know if I was seeing things or.
I didn't see that. It doesn't mean it wasn't true. He said he moved out of the red room into the other room, but
was he moving? Wasn't he moving or something?
He was, and then he said somebody wanted to stay or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I gave him over. You did, Kelly? You gave him $2,800 for website help? Oh.
Wow.
And he didn't pay for the website.
Wow.
I'm going to refresh really quick because I heard that I'm bad. Hold on.
Pretty bad.
Wow.
Mike, it's nice to meet you.
$2,800? You guys would be bailing me out right now.
So Kelly, come in here. Who is that?
That's way better, Vicky. Thank you for doing it.
So KP, come in here. You actually gave him $2,800, or you're saying you gave him $2,800 worth of help? Come in here. Because you guys, this is important because this is showing, because people.
Imagine this guy owing somebody $2,800 who really, I mean.
And I don't.
This is why I won't lend him big money, because I know me. I mean, even though I'm older now, I know me. I would be in big ass trouble, man. I couldn't put up with that. So when I took Vincenzo, because I'd say, Vinny, this guy is using your name. He's saying you're coming, blah blah blah. And you're going to get in trouble with this guy because he's taking money from people on your name, And that's when he pulled out.
Okay, Doc and Q. I didn't see the rest of the conversation, but do you guys have proof that the deposits were ever made? I don't think that deposits were ever made in Arizona.
No,
I don't think they were.
He had no money. He couldn't pay it.
I don't think
he didn't take the money they sent him to do. This is how stupid he is. He had people that actually gave him money to go.
To go where?
He chose.
What?
So, just talking about venues. I mean, the text message was about venues, right? So I was helping him with the Austin and the Houston venues. I heard the same story. It was like, oh, my internet's down. I have to go to Dunkin' Donuts or something. Then I said, okay, just take a picture of it, because I was talking to the venues. Take a picture of it, because they were like, we can only hold the venue till such and such date. So he takes a picture of it, conveniently only sends me the contract, doesn't send me the payment information. Like you guys know, he goes into the black box where he disappears. I'm texting, asking other people to text, I'm calling, nothing from him. The date comes and goes, and I'm like, you have to send this. And my reputation's on the line with this venue, saying, hey, don't worry, it's coming. I trust this guy's gonna send it to you. Never happens. Comes and goes. He disappears. Goes into the black box, and millions of other things happen in the meantime. He claims, this is firsthand account from someone else. He tells them for Detroit and Austin, is telling them, oh no, I put the deposit yesterday. The venue gets called for Detroit, and they never had even heard of him, not once, never had heard of him, and he's telling all of us speakers, no, I just put the deposit on yesterday, and then then he got called out on it, and he's like, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna put it tomorrow. Call the venue again the next day. They still have never heard from him. So definitely do not feel bad, feel like he's out money because he never paid the venues. I know for a fact he never paid at least 3 venues that were supposedly booked. They were all holding the date and not giving it to any other people that were trying to book it. And they ended up having to just eat that cost because he never booked it and he hadn't paid anything or anything like that. So I know for a fact at least three spots that he didn't pay for the venue and didn't book it and kept on just stringing everyone along that he was going to pay for it. So I highly doubt he booked Arizona too.
Here's Viv. Hey, Viv, why don't you step in?
Yeah, I'll hop out. Just want to add that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I kind of told him already, so I hope you don't mind. But
I don't see her yet.
Hi, guys.
Hi, girlfriend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's up, Philly girl?
I'm good. I got the text message. Hop on Blab. Yeah.
So
Well,
Viv was telling me at Periscope Summit. Why don't you tell him what happened, Viv?
well, you know,
And when about it happened?
when it happened at the beginning, you know, you don't know where you get into it. Periscope was new to me, and you know, he offered to help me with some social media strategy, and I was like, okay. So he said that he was launching a program, and that would be great for me. And then I purchased the program, which it was at that time, it was $50. And all of a sudden, he just disappeared. And it was 5 or 10 people. It was a group coaching package. And he did the first session. And then the second time, he just never sent an email. Oh, actually, the first situation was, remember that at that time, there was no full scope, but we're trying to record our scopes. And he just
he was getting paid to record them. Yes,
exactly. So that was $25 a month, and I paid for the first month, and that was it. Never got the the recording. And then the second one, that was the group coaching session, and the second time he didn't show up, never sent an email, never apologized, and never got back. Gave the money back to any one of us. So. No questions asked. I was like, you know what?
Yeah. That's like that was like the springtime, 2015,
yeah.
right?
That was like around.
Yeah, and you met him too. Didn't you come up to New York?
Yes.
And you met him?
Yes, I met him. Didn't
you go for Korean barbecue?
Oh, yeah. So then he was talking about, he was raving about the fact that he introduced me to Africa, and he paid for lunch. Very clear, like to make himself, look good. But I think, like, based on the conversation here that I hear you guys saying, I feel like he has a problem. Mm-hmm. Like people lie because they just chronically just live their reality is untouched with reality. And so this is good because then it's just, maybe he can get some help, because it's just like, it's sad. I feel sad for him. I never were mad. It was just like, how can you lie? So.
No, but like I'm saying, like he got you to give him money and he could give you time back. It didn't cost him anything to give him that time. And he had people that actually wanted to go see him. What's 100 people, Vicky?
Yeah. 175 is what he told me.
Okay, 175 people. So he could have done things to earn money.
But the problem is it's common sense for all of us, but someone that has a problem, maybe he has a, problem with money, with gambling, with drugs, with alcohol. I'm not saying that that's his problem, but I don't know. It's just that the pattern is not healthy. It's definitely something is just off. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that.
Oh, no, we can't figure it out. I can't.
Yeah.
To me, he doesn't look like a drinker. He didn't look like he was doing drugs. And he didn't look like, I don't know if he's gambling. You can't really tell that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's doing any of them. I just think that he didn't want to work. He thought that he could make a lot of money. And then he figured that it's easier to collect this money and not have to work at all and get away with it.
I would like to say something. I'd like to recommend a book called The Sociopath Next Door.
No,
I'm just serious. It's
she's being serious. She keeps telling me to read that book, and that's what she thinks is.
I'm a therapist by training, a marriage and family therapist by training. I don't practice, but I'm a coach now. And the book, The Sociopath Next Door, it's been a bestseller for a number of years, and it talks about how he fits the profile. It's go to Amazon, look up The Sociopath Next Door, read all the reviews, and buy the book. Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, and that's
what if you read it and you find out that it's you?
Well, a sociopath wouldn't read a book about
Only
a sociopath.
Only Mike.
Mike might know. Well, you know what, you guys, honestly, I think if somebody else wants to come in to share, then we want to, but we're not trying to bag on Robert. I know we've taken a turn.
I'm trying to bag on Robert.
Okay, well, my darling Mike, because you know what, I think part of it, Mike, is that and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just going to say this because it'll make me feel better, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that you're really a soft guy inside, and that you care about other people.
Nah, you're a bleeding heart, Fitch. That's your
I
problem.
know I'm a bleeding heart, but I still think you have
No, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Wait, if I look in there, I think I see one. I know I do.
Mike
I
is
think
sweet.
you are a sweetheart.
I sent the guy 400, right?
Listen,
Didn't I? So
I-
it tells
I-
you something.
I
And
had the
Vip, hey, Vip was in my company for a whole weekend.
No, listen, Mike is all about just size. He's soft, super soft. It's super cool. I have the best time in New York, and it was great. And we had this conversation where we were like, really? But for me, like, I believe in karma. You know, I'm not gonna jump on. We were talking about talk to such and such because such and such is about to do some business with him. So let's save that person from him. And that was our inside conversation. I always felt it was something about him that I felt sad for him. You know, sick. Like I believe he's sick. And it's not fair. Something is wrong, and hopefully, you know, he can get some help.
And that's really what this is about. We're not trying to bag on him. We took a funny turn, I think, to lighten the mood because it's been really hard. And you can tell probably from my face, I've been crying for the last several days, right? It's hard. This is hard, but we came together as a community to try and help other people. But the reasons people are saying, well, why are we still talking about it? And Stephen, we don't know why he's not here. We invited him. He says he can't come because of his daughter, but,
he's probably watching, you know, but
well,
listen, if the guy's got an excuse, then let him come do it.
But see, he's had a month of opportunities to give besides his lies to me, because I've been his advocate. I've been helping. I've been supporting and directing. But you know, and so the fact is that he had a choice and he didn't, but we're still giving him an opportunity to come up, you know, really, but nobody give him money. Don't give him money. Somebody's saying, well, let's start a GoFundMe. No, because that will just perpetuate what he's doing. Somebody here said they gave him $2,800. Mike, you gave him $400. You gave him $50.
Oh, he gave it in December 2015. Auntie Kelly gave it to him.
So you gave him $2,800. And yet
he gave $2,800 in December in cash in person.
That's a fact. This is a fact. Like he told you, or what?
Yeah, he just said it right now. Okay. Last year, I asked him when he gave it to him. That must have been for everybody's Christmas gifts. So everybody had a nice Christmas on you, Kelly.
Well,
I'm not trying to make it.
No,
but terrible.
But that is why we have to do this, because that's wrong. Like, see, now I feel angry because that is not, you know, that's wrong.
It's bad, right, Vic? It's bad now. It's worse than you thought.
Well, yeah, because it's getting worse and worse. I mean, people keep, you know, you should see the messages I'm getting. Well, yeah, he borrowed $50 from me, $20. He borrowed money because he told me he was at the hotel in New York and he couldn't pay for his room and he left his credit card at home. And a woman went and she gave him the money she had in her purse and she went and borrowed money from a bunch of other people so he could get his hotel room, and he only lives not too far away. But that's called using. That's using. It took her 6 months to get the money back. So she had to pay other people back while he still didn't pay her back. So this is not about the conference. This is about a pattern of behavior.
Everybody's paying. And that's when he was moving. So Kelly met him in December. That's how he probably paid his rent or something, you know? And that's why he wasn't moving now. He was probably evicting him or something, you know?
Maybe.
This is crazy. No, this is why he's probably divorced.
Probably.
All right, guys, I'm getting off, okay? It was good to chat with you guys. Hey, Mike, good to see you.
Love you. Talk to the ex-wife.
Nice to meet you.
Someone should find his ex-wife.
Yeah, it's awful. But anyway,
so we bury him?
Yeah, you can let them in for a second, and then, you know, I don't know if there's any more
Vicky
people.
looks like she's ready for bed.
Right? I'm exhausted, Mike. I've been crying for 2 days. Yes, I know. I'm a wimp. I'm a baby. I'm a cream puff. I get it. I totally get it, right? I get it.
But
I know. I've
You
never
are.
pretended. The Fitch
Vicky,
slap
can
is
you
powerful.
lend me some money, Vicky?
Mike, how much you want, Mike? Let me get my checkbook.
Oh my God.
Just FYI, I have never lent him money. He asked me for the money, but I told him I don't lend money, and which is true. I don't, but it doesn't mean I wouldn't have given it to him. You know what I mean? That's true. I'm not certain that I would have not folded and given it to him. I don't know, but I didn't know him and I was uncomfortable. I thought, wait a minute, I don't even know you. That's weird that you would ask me of all the people you know in the world. Why in the world would you ask me when I really don't know you?
The other ones are tapped.
You were uncomfortable.
What? Yeah,
You were
because it's weird.
uncomfortable.
That was weird. If somebody I know asked me, that wouldn't, but I didn't know him at the time.
Nah, it's good.
You lend me
You got
20
it,
bucks,
baby.
Vicky.
No, I'm not lending it to you. I'm going to give it to you.
So let me try to give some. Hi, Mikey. Let me try to give some insight here. My brother he passed on a few years ago from cancer, and I think that was a part of his karma because his whole life was like what we're experiencing now. What's coming out about Robert, and what happens, Mike, is that he's so busy trying to cook up the next lie, he can't work. He's too busy trying to cover his tracks. This is why I don't lie, because I don't have no way I could do what he has done here. And my brother, I watched him through he actually made it so his kids couldn't even see their grandmother by telling a lie about that he got cut out of her will so that somebody would give him a house to live in and feel bad for him and give him a job. So this is how bad it gets. If you get tied up, and my brother was always, he would always, and he was set up from birth. For a number of reasons, but he would always manipulate, lie, steal. He would work hard, but he didn't make a lot of money. And then he had a number of kids and 2 wives eventually. And it all put him in a position where he had to do something more than what he could produce by his own hand. So he'd have to use other people's money and softness and hearts and their wallets, to live his life. So I don't think Robert has a problem per se that's eating up tens of thousands of dollars a month. I think he just gets caught up in these lies after lies. And to hear the same thing, I see Vicky going into a different mode here.
Yeah, but these people gave him money, Cliff, and all he had to do was deliver a service,
right? But he doesn't
online through video,
right? But he doesn't have it, right?
No, he's got it, but it doesn't cost him anything to deliver that.
But if he's too busy cooking up the next lie and worrying about where the next money's coming, he's not paying attention to what he just delivered because he figures he'll get away with it until whenever. And that's the sickness, Mike. And you're right. It's not right what he's done. If it seems like if he has it there and he can deliver it, why not deliver it? Well, he's too busy focusing elsewhere. I mean, the whole story about constantly lying about, the money's coming, or everybody's getting the same story about this or that. After a while, eventually people will catch on. But in a community this large and growing, and always new people coming in,
that was a good statement. It's amazing how much work people will do to stay lazy,
right? To not work. Right. But once you get so far into it, Mike, once you get so far into a hole, it's like gambling. If you're into Johnny,
but he don't have to deliver anything but time.
Cliff. Well, that's not true, Mike. On some.
I understand in the later section. I'm still gonna. He started out online. He's gonna record things for people. Blah. Right. Then it went to group sessions. All come to one Skype. Blah blah blah. And that's only his time.
Right. No, I agree. You're right. You're right. That's where it started, and then it got bigger and bigger. And as he gained a following, people were more comfortable giving him more money. And like I said, I'm finding this a little bit overwhelming because I feel like my radar really is off because it's more than just. I thought it was like, okay, I'm trying to do this to get the money to pay this.
I think you're realizing it's not really going to be easy to correct. So, I mean, this guy's going to get locked up. That's what's going to happen because you can't beat 100 people out of 175 people. You just can't do that. He's got a big problem, man.
And he told me this morning it was only 23 people.
Yeah, he told her that I'm lying, that it's only 23 people. And I was like, 23 people? He told me there was 30 just in Arizona, and that wasn't enough. That's why he couldn't do Arizona. Right. But I think I have more than 23 people that bought tickets myself.
Years of lies. You can't. Basically, what we've determined, obviously, tonight is that anything that came out of there, and even as late as today to Stacy, is that it's just another layer of lies on top of another layer. It's the layer cake, and there's no way you're going to get to the core of it. There's something disturbingly upsetting. The sociopath and is a good pinnacle that you can look at here that Stacy has pointed out, and not to be mean. And people think of sociopaths or psychopaths as people who are eating people or killing people. This is not the case. There's sociopaths all around us. And if their knobs aren't turned up too high, they're not doing egregious things. They're doing regular, everyday things. You don't notice it, but this is egregious. This has gone too far. And it is, once you start spiraling, and again, it's not to give him a birth here or give him an excuse for what has happened at all. But the reality is that he's once you get down into that spiral, he's gotten too far, so he has no time to do anything but create up the next lie. And it's really, I mean, those of us who don't live in that zone, Mike, we don't get it, right?
Yeah, I get it because I've been around guys like this my whole life. Right. But I saw and I felt bad, and I told Johnny, I said, Johnny, I feel bad, but I think she's like too close to this guy. I'm gonna say something to her, and she's gonna get mad. She's not gonna believe me. And I said, Johnny, this is really gonna crash and burn really bad.
Yeah,
and I said it's going to start with him not showing up in San Fran. It's going to balls just going to roll.
Yep. And I urge other people in Mike.
Can I say something? When I was at Summit, somebody came to me. I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody told me to talk to Vicky, and I talked to Vicky after I got back. It was the first thing I did.
Yeah, and everybody's trying to protect Vicky. It wasn't about protecting Robert. Same thing, right? We're just like, we know Vicky, we know she's solid, but she's in. And I'd be the type of guy that just like, Vicky, I heard this, and the only thing I knew was that, and now that Mike had mentioned it, I saw when we were doing the Blab Awards, Vincenzo said, I will not go on camera with him. I will not. And I'm like, what the heck is that all about? And
but you knew. I told you guys about it. You knew.
I didn't. I wasn't in on any of the conversation.
You never heard me say it anywhere in our blabs? Never?
Not a word. I would have said, I would have asked you.
Colin knew, Preto knew, everybody knew. I said it right on Blab.
Believe it or not, they don't talk to me. I was the outsider there, Mike. You know that.
Come on.
Even though I was helping them.
All right, whatever. I thought you were there when I was saying it.
No. But anyway, regardless, that's all I knew is that, and I didn't probe. I don't know Enzo that well to say, hey, what was it? It was clear that he had something to do with him, and it went really bad. And it, obviously now we know what it was, but. And I just avoided Robert. I never felt comfortable with him. I never felt he was genuine or authentic. And I just stayed clear of him. I mean, I'd have fun with him a little bit here and there and joke with him. But I never felt that ease and I've got a pretty good radar with that stuff. So, but I wish, for Vicky, it hadn't gone on this long and put her in this much a deep. Same thing with the other folks that have gotten tied into this longer running thing. And, I wish him the best of luck. He's going to need a lot of it going forward.
I think it's going to get locked up. How's that?
Yeah, well, it may be worse. I don't know. I mean, like you say, people, they know where he lives. And now they're going to be more upset because he's done it to other people. It isn't just a one-off deal. And, and again, my brother lived this life. I can attest to it. For 52 years, I watched him live a life of lies. From his childhood, he started stealing. He went AWOL. He would steal stuff off of the ships. I have a ship's clock that he stole from one of the Navy vessels that's retired. But I mean, just like, what are you doing?
This guy gave $2,800 on his doorstep. He actually went to his house to deliver it to him, and this guy wasn't concerned that this guy knew where he lived. Not that it's hard to figure out.
My brother got a house out of the deal, so.
Well, I think, like I said, I think that we have, really, I think people get it now, and I think we get it. I mean, I get it.
I'm surprised that you even did this, so.
Well, I hear you. Like I said, but if you watched my blabs this week, it's my integrity was on the line because I knew that if somebody would have told me, then I wouldn't have been here. And again, I don't blame anybody. But I knew I wouldn't be here if somebody had mentioned it. And so that's why. And like I said, it's really Stacy that was courageous enough to actually name him because I was trying really hard to help people. And they guessed who it was yesterday on my blab. Thank you, Andra. They guessed who it was because finally somebody said to me, is that why your tour was canceled? And I went, and then I was like, yes. And then it was like the comments, so.
Came out of that one, yeah.
But
it's Vicky, hopefully this will, at least for both of you ladies and other people here, this is a cathartic thing for people who've been affected by him directly now. And yes, there's going to be anger. There's going to be like this feeling that we all have, even though I'm not personally affected. I'm affected because you guys are affected, and the community's affected. And then people are going to be like, no, I don't trust. I thought I really could trust this guy, and who can I trust next? And Mike or Cliff comes to me, whatever, and says, I need, it's hard. It's hard, and it just has to come out. And what I was going to say, I hope this lifts, at least for you guys who've been carrying this burden, especially Vicky, being so close to him in many ways, that it lifts that piece from you. I know it's not going to be comfortable tonight and for a few days at least, and then some as more of this comes to light. But we're here for you. You know that, and I want you to feel that as you put your head on your pillow today, that you've got a community of people like all of us here. That are here to support you, and that we know this is not your fault. I wrote this before. You didn't see it much earlier, hours ago. This is not your responsibility. This is not you're not accountable for this. And you were really in the dark, and people were trying to protect you. And that says something about this community, that they were, even Mike, he said, I should, but maybe I shouldn't. She's so close. And, I hope we learn from that, though, that we need to be honest with each other. As painful as it may seem, or as uncomfortable as it may be, and I've learned this a long time ago, and continue to learn it, that there are things, and I always speak out, and I always get in trouble for it. Like, why are you telling me that? And then later on, they thank me for it. But in the moment, they're like, "What? No, give me a break. Come on." Just I hope that at least today, this puts it a little bit behind, and we feel sadness for Robert and the community a little bit. That's all. I'll leave it with that. Mikey, good to see you again. Ladies, rest easier tonight.
Yeah, you're right. He did. Anyway.
Vicky, you want me to go on tour with you, Vicky?
Sure, honey. You want to go on tour, baby?
You want to do the sausage tour?
I can see it now. I'm not going to be a sausage girl, Mike. It's not happening.
You want to be the sausage queen, Vicky? Huh?
No. But I do appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you. I really do. You guys have been, again, you guys have taken a situation, and your support and your willingness to share has given us opportunity as a community to come together and see the hearts of the people. Because I haven't really seen anybody really try and throw him under the bus. I've seen people ticked off at him, right? But I haven't seen people really trying to rip him to shreds. Even Mr. Sausage Puff over there. He's, you're a good guy, Mike. You're a good guy. I don't care what you say. You know what? Just let me think you're nice. Would you just let me think you're nice?
No, I didn't say I'm not. I'm nice to people that are nice. That's all. I'm not bad.
Well, I think you're a nice guy.
I'm jaded.
I have a friend over in the chat box, and I call her Mrs. Jaded because she's a jaded individual. I love her.
When you get around scum, it's no good.
I know, but
it's no good. And I don't like guys that beat women. That pisses me off.
You know what? See, that's where that's where you can now see that I go right on. I have absolutely no.
No, I don't mean beat. I mean beat them for money and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't like.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I know you people out there.
Yeah.
Don't understand beat, but.
Well, when you say it, Mike, we think beat is a beat down.
No, term beat. You beat somebody out of their money.
Yes,
but,
absolutely.
Scam. I don't know.
Well, there are a couple more people that would like to come in, but I also know Vicky's very tired, and we'd like to shut this down. So, Vic, what do you want to do?
I say if we give them
a chance, it'll be all right. See you later. It's Saturday night.
Bye, Mike. If they have something to say, well, let's let them do like a 2-minute thing. I am exhausted, you guys. I appreciate, but I do want to say that I really appreciate you guys. That I appreciate the support. I appreciate what you guys have to say. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the people who came forward. I know there's other people. I know there's other people here that have experienced it and haven't shared. But I just want you guys to know that that we're a community and we're here. We're here to support each other. Yes, Barry.
All right, Barry, go.
No, you don't have any audio.
That's called being respectful. I forgot I muted myself. Sorry, girls. Y'all got me powered up again, thinking about something today. You know what? I'm going to be proud and brag about. Look how much I borrowed when I wanted to learn. I lost a lot of money, but I borrowed a lot of money for over 10 years. just to learn something. Don't take this hard, y'all. It costs money to learn, and we make a lot of mistakes, and you'll get bad teachers. You can't help it.
Sure.
I'm not saying he is or not. I don't know the answer. Just look behind me. This is over $20,000 if I would pay full price for just coaching. That's just one little small piece of what I've paid for information. The only mistake he hasn't done, I would like to see him step up. It doesn't take much to do webinars, and it doesn't take much to do a one-on-one coaching, like, make a membership where they get a free 6 months or something. That's way cheaper than we charge, usually $39 to $97 a month for something like that. He could get everybody paid off. If he doesn't have the money, at least he can give information or coaching or do something, because that's what technology is today.
I hear you. You're
Make
right.
them earn what they paid for. I really tell people, give them 3 to 10 times more than what they paid for. Give them way more than what it costs, and they'll never leave you. Maybe he can earn back his respect if he's willing to give more than what it was worth.
I hear you. Trust me. I just like to get them to give what they deserve.
Yeah, but
Okay,
even if he doesn't,
I hear you.
even if he doesn't, don't stop paying for coaches, because we all need mentors and coaches. But make sure, do your homework and look for someone that is going to be reliable. I could put names out right now that y'all could look up, but just do your homework. Look at somebody that has a powerful name.
Thank
You know
Like-
who the best coach is? Vicky.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacey. I
love
appreciate
her.
that.
Well,
It's
here's
true.
one. I tell people I learned a lot. Tony Robbins is one. He's not cheap.
Right.
But guess what? I made so much more money than he charged me, big time.
Well,
And it's
we're
not
gonna go. We want to go on, Barry. Not that I want to cut you off,
No, that's
but we
it. I
want
just
to,
want to get my 2 cents for the day.
Thanks,
Yeah, we've
honey.
been on here almost 3
you.
hours. So,
Okay. Bye, Barry. Thank you.
and Mark, you let Mark in.
Okay. You me? Okay, I'll let him in.
Okay.
I don't know Mark though. I don't know. Do I know Mark?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, I don't know. I didn't know you guys have been on that long, so I'm just going to be real short. But I was just going to say, hey, because of you two up there, I learned about Blab because Frameable Faces. I had mentioned this person, that you guys were talking about in a shout out, because I'd been off scope for a couple months, and he was one of the first people that I had encountered on scope, real friendly, Anyway, I never really got to know him other than watching his scopes. I noticed he, whenever I'd go on and look, that he hadn't scoped in a while, so I thought he kind of disappeared like I did. And so I did some shout outs, and Frameable warned me. They said, hey, you're mentioning his name. There's something going on. Go to Bible News Radio and check it out. And so I went there and found out what was going on. And then you had recommended or made a reference.
Uh-oh.
We're losing your audio, honey. You want to refresh really quick so you can finish your thought?
Vicky's, but this is how I learned about Blab. It's like Periscope on steroids, evidently. So I'm going to kind of get into this now. Yesterday was my first day because of you two. So I just want to give you a shout out and say thanks.
Thank you, honey. Appreciate you being here, and the community is good. We're just, like I said, we're trying to tighten up the reins a little to make sure people know, what to trust and what to believe. But thank you for being here.
How long is Blab?
4 months, 5 months. How long has it been on, guys? Or maybe 6 months? Has it been 6 months yet? I don't know. Longer? Couldn't be more than 6 months, right?
Cool.
Maybe 8. No, it hasn't been that long. That hasn't been that long.
It's like it seems like Periscope on steroids. But I'll sign out and let you guys
Thanks,
rest.
Mark.
But it's good to meet you guys. Thanks.
Yes. So I think, I don't know if you want to say something, and then I'd like to say something in closing, and then we just get out. Mm-hmm.
I started the Blab tonight with the scripture, Proverbs 22:1, which says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. And I hold to that. And we also talked about what love is. Love is patient, it's kind, it's gentle, doesn't provoke its own, etc. It never fails. And that's why Vicky and me did this, because we actually love people. And we wanted to warn people who may not know. And so those of you who came in tonight, I think quite a few people came in tonight. A lot of you came in. So I'm glad, because now you all know, and you can tell your communities, and you can keep an eye out for each other. So that's all I wanted to say.
And I wanted to say that I know that some of this went a little awry, and I know some of you guys maybe didn't agree with everything that was going on, but I do hope that you know that it really was all done in love. And I have to admit, I was shocked to learn some of the new things. I don't think I'm going to be shocked anymore. I don't think I think other things are going to become uncovered or going to be uncovered. And I don't think I'm going to be shocked anymore. But again, you guys can just ignore me or whatever you want. Anybody that does, he does owe money. I think, and you guys can take this for what you want. I do think you should file a claim. I think that if we don't correct the behavior, it will continue. If he doesn't, and somebody was saying, I think it would be awful for his daughter. But it just like, I grew up with my father's an alcoholic, my brother's an alcoholic drug addict, my sister's an alcoholic drug addict. If you don't continue to hold some sort of standards, those people change your life, and you have to make a choice. And so I made a choice. Stacy made a choice to stand up and share this with you, whether you appreciate what we did or whether you think what we did was awful. We did it out of love, and we did it out of respect for the community, and also to help Robert, because just like an addict has to hit rock bottom before they can, make a change. Robert's behavior is addictive. I didn't see any sign of him being a drug addict, an alcoholic, or a gambler. But, some people are, addicted to adrenaline. They're addicted to the next big win, the next big chase. So it's like a gamble. But some people are. I don't know if that's him, but he's acting like an addict. He's lying, cheating, and stealing to try and get past the behavior. And I'm saying on the record, I still care about him. I care about him as a person. I care about him as a man, and I don't want anything to happen to his daughter, but he needs to get some help. He needs something to change. And if he has to hit his bottom in order to change, that might be where his fortune is made, that the change and the transition. Look at JC Limitless. He's very open about what happened to him, and look at the difference in his life now. So don't stop him from falling. People are saying, well, let's start a fund for him. Let's do this. Let's pay his bill. I don't want to pay his bills. If the man needs some food and I can hand him some food to eat, I will. You cannot give a drug addict money. You cannot give someone who's obviously not handling money well. You can't give them money because obviously it's not going to go well. And so for those of you who have paid for the conference and did not receive it back, try to make file the claim. Don't expect to get the money back, because it sounds like, if he owes him $2,800, $500, this is much bigger than I knew. It may be into the six figures instead of five. I don't know, but don't expect it back. Release that in terms of emotions and try and glean from it. Like I emotionally am trying to detach from that, right? We've got to do that. We got to move on. And as a community, we have to hold each other accountable. So, I'm not telling you to go troll his blabs. I'm not telling you to go troll his periscopes. But if you are in there and he is trying to sell a product or service, step up and say, hey, watch this blab that was recorded on February 6th. Go watch the blab. There's a record so you can see it's not one person. It's not my opinion. It's a history of people telling you this isn't a good idea. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. But you all know it now, and you're responsible. You're responsible to step up. You're responsible to not let this happen to somebody else. And again, you can choose to do what you want with it or not. I'm glad that we stepped up. I am exhausted. I won't pretend. But but we did the right thing. I think we did the right thing. And I think that you guys, probably if you were considering investing money there, that you're probably really glad right now that we did. And if you've already invested money, you wish somebody had done it before. So don't start a blab, guys, and start bagging on people. Don't create this as a habit. I don't want to see so-and-so did a program and it didn't get delivered. Don't do that. Go individually, one-on-one, but it's okay to ask somebody. It's okay to share and try and figure out who the people to trust are. Like I said, just love each other, right? Just care about the community and and thank you guys for being here. Thank you for spreading the word without destroying someone's character, right? I know he destroyed his own character, but, let's not rip him to shreds everywhere we go. Let's not go on his Facebook page and rip him to shreds, telling other people, I don't recommend this, and clicking a link on the blab, if he's trying to sell something. I think that's appropriate, but ripping him to shreds is not a good idea. So that's just my opinion.
And can I add to, if you guys don't know who Cynthia Bazin is, She has been investigating fraud and all this for over 20 years. She did an actual awesome scope today. I would encourage you to go to Periscope and watch it, because she actually listed some signs that are warning signs, and she's going to continue to do more. So I just think you guys should follow her too and watch her.
Bazin,
yeah. I was just going to say, because Robert actually did some of the stuff that she was talking about. So
here's her handle. I just put it in there. It's at the Smart Chick. He did that himself. Yeah. Thank you.
And I
Thanks,
think
Johnny.
she was in here before, but I don't think she's in here now. But if you are, you can come in and say hi, but we're getting ready to leave.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a good egg. And I'm afraid to say this, but well, no, I better not. I won't say it. I won't say that now. I'll wait till later. Anyway, she's amazing. She was my Perry Crush of the week last week. She is amazing. Thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you're not following Stacy at Bible News Radio, you should follow her. Stacy is a woman of character, a woman of courage, a woman of conviction. And that is hard to find. It really is. Loose lip sync ships. Yes, Robin, you're absolutely. Oh, yeah. It wasn't a bad thing though, Robin. It wasn't actually a bad thing. It was just something I think I'll wait till a more positive, like a time when I have a little more energy in my life. Yes, that's her last name, Bazin. A little more energy. I know you guys, I feel like I'm, I am exhausted. The last couple of days have been exhausting, but I personally am going to choose that this is done now. I'm done. Right. I'm done. So I would like to speak with you when you feel up to it. Not about it. Okay, honey, you got it, Cliff. That I'm just, we got rid of it. If you have a claim against Robert, file it. And if we do find some other information, you guys can, I don't know exactly how we'll deliver it, but if we find out some information from Mitch or whatever on how, what people can do, if there's some kind of thing that can do to make sure it doesn't happen to other people, we'll try and let you know. But again, I appreciate you guys. I so do. I really do. But yeah, exactly right. We're done. We're going to move on, but we're going to remember this, and we got to be a little bit of patrol, you guys. If you're in there and you see it, step up. And if you can't step up, yeah, let somebody else know. But try really hard to step up and say, hey, watch this blab. Save this blab. Save it into an Evernote so you can grab it and pop it into something, because we don't want people getting taken advantage of. The $2,800 over there is breaking my heart. Honestly, I can't believe the $2,800 there. I am worried for him, Next Gen Bizman. I am. I'm worried. I'm worried about him because this is big. This is a house of cards that came crashing down today. Now, there's only 332 people in here today, right? But that's a lot of people that can spread a lot of information. And again, not as a ripping down or shredding his character. I have to believe something's going on. I really do. I mean, if my life fell apart, I would want somebody to help me. And I got to tell you, I did. I did try and help him. I tried and I tried and I tried, and I enough said, but I do want to help him, and I just want that known. Okay. So anyway, love you, Stacy. Thank you for doing this. Thank all of you guys for being here, and feel free to share the replay if you think it's helpful to somebody. Okay. If you think it's helpful.
I love you too.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Love you. Who has the link? What? It's this one. It's the same thing we're in, honey. Right here. This link here. There you go. That's the link. Share that link with anybody you think needs it. And if you didn't see this, watch the replay. Yes, it's 3 hours. Huh? What?
Or we can tweet it out. People can tweet it out too. Follow you on Twitter.
If you hit tweet, and if you tweet, thank you. Thanks so much, sweetheart. If you tweet it out, you can also change the thing that says, I don't know, buyer beware or whatever you want to call it. But just love everybody. I think Johnny always says, be good to yourselves and each other, right? We all have to remember that. And that's what this was about. So I'm going to go eat something and have a cup of tea, and maybe I'll take that bath. I love each and every one of you, and thank you so much for being here. Thanks for understanding too, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Trying to hit the button, it won't hit.
I'll kick you out. Bye. I kicked her out. Thanks, everybody.